up, everyone? We made it. That's right. We'll do it live. Welcome, misfits, to this episode of Midnight Ranting. Do you mind if I have an interview with Lucifer? That's right. We are exclusive footage tonight. We are watching a video from the channel Ivan the Evangelist. Called a video interview with Lucifer, warning offensive content in all caps to make sure that you know how offensive it is. Indeed. I am offended that he just didn't pursue drama class. But besides that, won't you join James W. and myself, Amy Newman, for a demonically good time? Wahaha.
It's not even October yet.
I know, but it's so spooky. Please don't forget to like on the algorithms. It helps us meet a whole bigger audience. But that is what Satan would want, James. He would want us to grow in Christian channels.
As we inch closer to 1,500, we're inching our way. We're almost there. A couple away. We'll get there eventually.
Once again, is what Satan wants. It's going to be a theme tonight. But don't forget to subscribe right there and hit that all button icon, because that's how you actually get premieres, live streams, and reminders. If you're like, hey, I click this one channel and I've been wanting to see all of their stuff, but I have no idea why it's not. It's because of that bell icon.
You're watching this the next day or 2 days from now, and like, damn, I wanted to watch it live.
If you're watching this in the future or in the past, hello. Trying to think how time travel works. I guess technically speaking, they can watch this in the...
He's the time guy.
That's true. In time, on time. What is up, Nick? What is up, everybody? Because if you are joining our live streams, we can say hello to you.
Suit off the rack tonight for only $199. He got a deal on it. So
that's right. Very specifically, I heard, for some reason heard a suit from Iraq, which is something slightly similar. But also,
like a video from the guy who reminds me of a video from Saddam's old tailor, like his favorite tailor in Iraq, who would make all Saddam's suits for him.
I also only picture Saddam now, like in the head of South Park cartoon characters. Come on, Satan!
Which that's like the picture from when they pulled him out of that hole, like that, where he'd been like living for a month with no shower or anything.
There are some humans that they very specifically animate heads on. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Saddam. It just adds an extra touch. And Saddam Hussein very specifically has a relationship with Satan, who it's an on again, off again. Satan actually wants to quit Saddam, but Saddam is kind of a little bit of, he's a good top. He knows how to give it, and
Satan can't resist taking it.
Satan can't quit. Can't quit you, Saddam. What are we talking about? Anyway, sending love to everybody out there. What is up, Nick? What is up, Aaron? Aaron Salas, hello, heathens. It's the final countdown. What's up, Sam? And a fabulous sinister porpoise. And everybody out there, Pragmatic Crystal, and everyone that's saying hi. You are Victoria, Lucifer, Naked, Jesus wore clothes. We also pointed out today that Jesus wore a dress because, just bringing up gender things. got in a very heated debate, though I didn't record it, James. I should have been recording it. These are the... It was too early. It was so early, and I have to warn people. But sending love
you
everyone
haven't had
out
your 5-hour
there.
energy yet?
Exactly. Oh. I only like taking 5-hour energy in front of people because it makes people go, you know, that stuff is going to kill. Though one day, probably the autopsy is going to say whatever is in 5-hour energy.
Synthetic caffeine, whatever.
Jesus almost certainly wore mixed fabrics. Yes. I can guarantee you 2 things that Jesus did, okay, as a 30-year-old gentleman, as long as he was not completely asexual, though asexuals do this too. He masturbated and he cursed. Those are 2 things I can guarantee you as a human being, because they do this whole perfect stuff. Also, I'm fairly sure Mary cheated. A contrarian? What
Mary cheated. Like Mary had been having sex with another man who wasn't Joseph, and she got pregnant. And she's like, and the guy's like, well, I mean, just tell him it's his. And she's like, no, you don't understand. I haven't had sex with him yet. Like, you haven't had sex with him yet?
We get that we're edgy when we put this forward. Like, how dare we? I get blasphemy. I get people that say we are not taking an academic approach. However, like, if we have to put the 2 side by side, immaculate conception, you did not have sex with your partner, they got pregnant, or the other option, they kind of slept around and they got pregnant. Which one just seems to hold more weight in the natural
I don't know.
world?
The academics say it makes sense.
James, but they always say, but Bart Ehrman. Even though Bart Ehrman, they basically, all of the atheists...
He's an atheist.
If you read Dr. Josh, if you read a lot of their books, a lot of them will just say, make sure that you're giving nuance to all of these ridiculous arguments that the Christians are putting forward. None of them back a literal interpretation. All of them just point out that we are taking a inventory of what people believed at the time.
Well, that's true. Actually most of the arguments for historical Jesus is like, look, people in the first century thought he was real. Well, okay, yeah, we know people in the first century thought he was real. How many of them actually interacted with him, saw him? Well, I mean, not very many. But they thought he was real. Look, it says right here he had lots of followers. Well, yeah.
James, it said 500 billion followers. It said 500. I always love that number, 500, because you will then watch... what is poof? You watch others, atheists, skeptics, then try to say, well, how about 501? I actually know someone who resurrected from the dead, and they had 502 witnesses, James. And then they're like, okay, it's this qualifier.
And Holen had a 501c3.
What's up, Pat? That's right. Good morning. Good morning.
Is he in England yet? The UK yet? Scotland? Might be
doing research. I gotta start saying hi to everybody out there. Hello. We are talking an interview with Lucifer. It's a erotic novel, I assume, just like Anne Rice's. Very similar. The makeup.
Christians decide to play Halloween.
Yes, the makeup is actually good in the video that we're gonna watch.
It's interesting.
It's just ridiculous. But we'll do some quick shout outs, some quick openings, and we want to get right to it, really. So don't forget to send all that love. We have our ways to support the channel, like subscribership, membership, You could become a member and get our evolving badge system. James and I have been talking about this. Like, the creationists seem to be dissipating, right? This isn't, hi, Gizmo. I can't imagine it's any one thing, but it does seem to be like the creationists are less of a presence. A lot of, like, I have Discord and stuff, the still lay Christians that want to argue.
But professional debater Christians, yeah, they're dry.
Seem a little bit more exhausted.
They're Smokey, like he smoked himself out. LPP basically has the towel at least halfway thrown in. Nephilim Free, I think, is hiding in a bunker somewhere in Nebraska. He hasn't been seen lately. Tangelo, he comes out of hiding once in a while, but he is not as active as he used to be.
We had him on the Atheist Helpline the other week, but it was a very, very timid argument from him.
Timido Tangelo?
Timido Tangelo. This is also our Patreon.
Otherwise,
so much love to all
like the professionals, like the Ray Comforts, like and Ken Ham, they more and more just talk to their own people. They don't engage very much anymore.
This is another thing.
To their own believers.
They love trying to not only come in from, I would say, like a coding perspective, which is insane to me because our DNA is nothing like
it's a literal
JavaScript code. Or a C++.
Literal
it just
code.
Isn't.
It's HTML.
Yes. God is going in there
Linux.
And writing comments.
Linux.
This shit is quoting a movie. You can finish the last
binary code.
Yes.
We'll just keep naming different codes.
But then they trying to go after genetics, which is like this mirrored thing, which is always like a hobgosh, because once again, codons are nothing like bits of code, like not literally.
Genetic entropy.
What's up, Sumami?
Non-binary
genetic
code.
entropy. Matt Powell. I sometimes see Matt Powell in Discord, which is interesting, but I've never seen him actually have conversations.
What servers does he hang around?
The politics or religion.
Yeah.
He's members of them, but I don't think he talks in the Discord servers a lot. And that pre-supper has gotten banned from both of those servers, I believe.
Where does he hang now? On some other platform, isn't he?
Hangs on Clubhouse on his phone or on an app that allows for phone conversations. But he has been... Now, look, I'm not hating. In fact, I would like to go on Clubhouse and do some more debates. It is just so funny how these... I assume they used to be called YouTube creationists. They can't really be called that anymore, James.
Yeah, they don't.
Kent doesn't really have much of a YouTube presence anymore.
Only on SFT.
Anyway, we'll play a violin. We'll light a candle. It'll be okay. So we're sent out. Yes, you can sign up for our membership. You can join our Patreon, patreon.com/Amy Newman. And we give out love to our supporters, all of them, sending so much love to.
Now,
and I also...
You had a non-Christian creationist actually run away from a debate. Someone who's always trying to get on the debate, but
yes,
yeah, been crying. He can't get on MDD for the longest time,
and then for some reason,
he wouldn't want to come on, Mr. Mr. Bubblegum Gun. I guess his gun was out of bubblegum. No more
I am
bubblegum to
just
shoot.
looking forward to a debate. Hopefully Monday. I think it's either going to be evolution or Noah's flood. And some of these debaters don't really like formal debates. They don't like going back and forth. I don't know.
Oh.
Can't step into the fire. I will send so much love. I saw in chat.
Yeah, they want to see the dress.
I'm feeling more dresses, James. I've been feeling it.
Yeah.
I do like I have a lot of like science t-shirts that are just like skeptic theme for our show and stuff. But, it's getting summery. The weather's changing.
I got a nice summer dress, sundress.
Might as well trigger the whoever for existing. Though hopefully that's going to calm down a year or two. It'll calm down. What were we talking about?
They don't have enough energy to keep it going for the faux outrage and the faux.
That is the thing. It is a boy or girl who cries wolf. The sky is falling. You can only make people fearful for so long. What ends up happening is people go, oh. And they look left and they look right. And if nothing is biting their ankles, they realize that the person who just stole $5 from their pocket, it's like, oh, wait, it's a priest, a pastor, an imam. It is a rabbi. It is a guru. It is a psychic. Let me just point out psychics. Give shout outs for their snake.
You don't want anything from them. You just want to leave you alone.
Well, like I said, James, they seem to be disappearing from the internet. I don't know if it's just the information age, coming to fruition.
Shadow bans and censorship and
not being allowed near Chuck E. Cheese. That took 2 of them down.
They call that a shadow ban.
Oh, shit. Oh, Kitty is
Wonder how Khalil's adjusting to life in the big house.
Well, it's just so funny that he probably has religion does very well in jail.
Islamic
I think it's funny that this video, by the way, it's just to tell that this isn't made by Satan. Is just how personalized. I always love it when they're like, oh yeah, and you got that religion kinda right. You just one wrong. Satan himself tells you that Islam is working magic for followers. It's just very weird. It's very human because it's like It's like McDonald's can't help but take a pot shot at Burger King. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. It's like you gotta at least go after the other brand. And these, they're all just different, corporations going after each other. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism.
Denny's goes after IHOP for their ridiculously cartoonish breakfast. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. And I was almost going to wait, but now I'm just going to do it twice. Thank you so very much, Farron Salas.
So do a little dance.
And I also like to twirl, because why
they
not?
Like it. Gotta give the fans what they want.
James, I can't kind of help myself. It feels too good. Thank you so much, Farron. And hopefully our cause of entertainment will do well as we try to counter all of this nonsense that,
they keep slinging our way.
Well, there's just so many different types of, I think religion is just the most prominent superstition. And so that tends to
definitely is the most prevalent.
Our focus.
It's in our face all the time.
And it just, if we were to get rid of religion, I'll keep it up there while I'm talking about. If we were to get rid of religion, we would probably get rid of the vast majority of hate towards the LGBTQ community. We get rid of the vast majority of hate towards different religious denominations. And so you would not have the First Baptist Church against the Second Baptist Church. You would not have the Protestants versus the Catholics. You would not have Israel versus Palestine. You would have Shia versus Sunni. These differences would just disappear. Without religion, all of the faith healers, all of the exorcisms,
psychics,
all of the psychics.
I think a lot of that would go away, even though they're spiritual. A lot of that, I think, it like piggybacks on religion. I think a lot of that would go away too. Once people embrace the more naturalistic, scientific-based approach to reality, I think, a lot of that psychics and crystals and
it belongs in one place, and that is the movies. Like, I'll watch an exorcism movie, a psychic movie, but it kills me on the inside watching, like, a Christian psychic, because that is what I used to pass by on the way to work. A Christian psychic just sitting there with, like, a Porsche on their lawn.
A lot of them use, like, Christian, like, but you have to, in a way, because you call them up, they're like, oh, what does God have in store for you? And God's got something, he's got something coming for you. And, do you have Venmo? It's $79 for a 10-minute reading. And, well, maybe
James,
$59 for an introduction.
And you don't want to miss this reading, because I have the secret that you have been waiting to unlock. Just gotta align your chakras.
You the name of your guardian angel, and because when you talk to your guardian angel, if you know their name, then they can even like look out for you even more. It's a scam.
It is a scam.
Uses religion. Through. I think a lot of racial hatred, even though because people say, well, I mean, hey, people are going to hate if you take away religion, they'll just find other reasons to hate. They'll hate based on race or ethnicity. I don't think a lot of people would.
Well, I always find that a silly argument, because that would mean, like, why would we take out everything? You could say that every time we overcome a hurdle in human society, you could say, oh,
well, we'll just have other things.
We'll just have other things to get over. Yeah, well, let's deal with that. Why do we need
tarot? Yeah, tarot is ridiculous too. People who think
tarot, Ouija boards, all of it, all nonsense. Now, listen, you're gonna have a bunch of people over, and you're just having a good time. You just drank a lot of wine. I'm not blaming you for doing that. What I'm saying is the people who are scamming everyday lay people.
Don't base any life decisions on it, or
pieces of, and that. Don't base life things. And all right, let's get to the shadow, because all they're doing is trying to give you the information that you want. They're trying to feed you exactly what you want, and they're trying to, if they hear things that you don't want to hear that actually turn you off to their reading, they actually consider that a miss and go away from it. And what they're hoping is you will count the hits and avoid the misses. And so it doesn't matter that, they're like, oh my God, but honey, the psychic said 10 things. How could she have known these exact 10 things about your life? Well, the other 40 things, they were a little skeevy. But yes, those 10 things, they were right on.
I mean, they're all listed on your Facebook profile, but I mean,
I know.
They wouldn't go on your Facebook profile like tell you where you're born or your mother's name or anything like that, because it's listed publicly. They wouldn't do that. They got the information supernaturally.
We all cold read. We all do it naturally. We're just trying to get information, and so we build pictures of reality. And when those pictures are broken, when people defy those pictures, then we learn and we take back. But we are that's how we work with
information incorporating algorithms. Walking
yes.
information recording algorithms.
And all right, we're gonna shout out. We'll keep on sending ranting. That's kind of what we do. But sending love to Dale Pastel, reminding us we're looking for empirical evidence. James Randi went looking for empirical evidence when he tested. Did not find a gosh darn thing. I miss those.
Donuts. His. You remember the April Fool's Day, where he pranked everybody by having the guy come and like act like he could read stuff from his mind.
I don't.
It was funny. Hilarious. He actually like handed him a check and everything, and before they told the crowd like,
gotcha. That is a good April Fool's joke, to be honest with you.
It was, and it was on April 1st. It was like the guy. He's like, okay. He was able to tell what was on the screen of a computer just by holding his hand over the monitor, like the laptop monitor.
Sure. Well, I mean, he's the test giver, and so I guess it's easy to work hand in hand if you're gonna give it. But he was just great at sussing out frauds, and so sending love to
my
James
favorite
Randi.
was when he would take would take an entire bottle of the homeopathic sleeping pills, and he'd be like, "I'll tell you what I just took later," and he would start giving his talk, and then he'd be like, "Now, about 15 minutes ago, I took an entire bottle of these homeopathic sleeping pills, but as you can see, I'm awake. Look on the thing. Oh, like do not take more than 3 tablets at 24. Oh, I just took 26 tablets and I'm fine because they didn't do shit."
Yeah, they're just water. They're just water.
Yeah.
They're actually nothing. But yes, what is up, James Wolfe, and what is up? Thank you so much, Dale Pastel, and sending love to Chris Disciple. We do have skeptic, theist, septic Christians in there, sending so much love to Chris. Sending love to the skeptic and ranting community. Sending love to James Wolfe. We were sending love. He's out there. Woo! We are doing late night podcasts again. What is up? And I'll be better managing next time. I always get overwhelmed sometimes, and then it gets so hard. I not only was working 60 hours, but I can't do this to myself. I gave myself 2 hours of driving. Because I thought where I was commuting to would be very close. Where I was commuting to was not very close. It was still a good experience. I enjoyed teaching. I'm going to still teach professorship in the summer, but getting to know the K through 12 education system, it was an interesting experience.
Shumami said, Miss Cleo, floating in that chair.
Miss Cleo.
Actually, they used to do like water boat tours around here, and you actually used to see. They used to drive by and point out the mansion she used to have back when.
I was gonna say another millionaire that just.
They made her into a soundboard before at one point. They used to prank call people as Miss Cleo. I remember the one call that I remember was the lady's like, no. Lady's like, isn't this costing me a lot of money? And she's like, yeah, it is.
Probably. I mean, these people, you could just do. Just gotta say, very generic, but you have like maybe 4 or 5 different things for different people, depending on, maybe someone's a little more extroverted, introverted. But that kind of stuff, we do naturally. We do all the time.
Nick brings up reincarnation. Now, the thing I never get about that, what never makes sense to me about that is, okay, so we're supposed to go through these lives and learn things, yet 99% of us forget everything. We have no memories of a past life. So we actually have no learned experience, no lessons we learned can transform. because we don't remember them. So what's the point, Amy? What would even the point be of living a life? Then you get, I guess, some guru grades you like. Okay, you did like 6.2. Your last life, you were actually 6.5. So you actually regressed a little bit. So we're going to wipe your memory and we'll send you to another life and see how you do. Okay, I guess, maybe.
Reincarnation is just a concept that comes because we just think our consciousness is top level shit. And I get why. We love our consciousness. We are conscious. And so we're going to think that it should be the goal. However, yeah. Sending love to Loki, Fur, and Tim, and everybody out there. Whoever I miss, Subaru, Goth, Living Room. We're sending love out, of course, to Deja Vu proves we have past lives. Deja Vu is a trippy experience. Let me tell you. Because I have two different types of deja vu. I have deja vu, and I have deja vu, which is my. And can I tell you the weird? And it feels good. It feels good to lean into. That's why I leaned into it the first time that I felt it. But for my epilepsy, I'm like beating around that bush because it makes everyone so super serial when I talk about it. It just makes me obsessed with consciousness. It makes everyone.
It's a glitch in the matrix, Amy.
It's a glitch in the
matrix. It's glitching. Which,
James, I have to take blue pills. I glitch out in the matrix. My solipsism should be off the chart, but we're just gonna have a good time.
See, though, the matrix wasn't even solipsism because there were other people actually integrated. It was just a virtual world. Kind of. It wasn't like you're the only person that existed.
No, you're attached to the... That's true. That is very true. Thank Jeebus. It wouldn't just have to be...
It's not like everybody in there is just a non-player character. It was...
There's the NPCs that are the G-men, but
the agents.
There's technically other people that you can hook up with.
Kind of like Second Life, but you can't leave.
The Matrix or Second Life? As someone who's played Second Life, let me tell you.
Yeah, I've never played it, but
it's how I got my start in 3D graphics because you can make a decent. You can make. I shouldn't say a decent. You can. You can make a decent amount of money in Second Life through graphics and 3D modeling. Both of those things. Do
out there in the house.
What's up, Titan? I see your fantastic icon. Speaking of which, I'll just send love to Emily. Emily reminding us that they are so triggered, and I mean the fundamentalists, because don't say the word they. Well, actually, Emily is they, but for whatever reason. LGBTQ, and I guess because it says to kill us in their book, they seem to be triggered that we're being accepted by society. In fact, we got accepted so fast that I think this is what this reaction is. Because all of these issues, all of the latest trans issues, we didn't pick any of them. Not a goddamn one. These are all made up issues that, Bye, Chan. What? But YouTuber Ultimated, you just joined. How could you say bye?
Good to see you, YouTuber. Ultimated Judeo-Christian.
YouTuber James W. Let's go. Good to see him.
He actually came in and debated with Mark last time a little bit. Although
really,
he was just kind of just debating about. It was just a semantics game. It wasn't really serious, but. Up there, he seemed to enjoy himself just jousting with Mark.
Biblically speaking, of course.
Oh, totally biblically speaking. That wily Phil there.
But sending so much love to Emily and sending so much love to Davegar, reminding us the world is round. Like if you think the world is flat or 4 to 6,000, 10,000, however, I'm going to say 4,000. You'll be like, oh my gosh, it can't be that young. 6 to 10,000 is off by 99%. 99%.
Yeah, it's really not. Is it really that far off? I mean, they think 4,000 years ago Noah was walking around, so that just sinks in. Yeah, Noah was
James. It just tells you that men with beards can get anything done. That's what the Bible is trying to tell you, I assume.
So, and then Moses was like 1,000 years after that. So we are like, all this shit literally just happened, basically.
Everything just gets smushed. But yes, it just happened. Because history is just made up, apparently. And the Flintstones is a documentary. It all makes sense if you don't think about it. Anyway, thank you. So what's up, Pastor Joe? What's up, Dale? Then what is up, Davegar? And what is up? The one and only sending love to Rachel Holen.
Oh, how's
fabulous.
Rachel doing?
She's doing good. We visited.
Adjusting your work schedule.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think she missed, I was away for, not only was away for so long, but what sucked, can I tell you what sucks? And you probably know this very well. But what sucks about having a 40-hour work week and then having another job is that you come home and work. Yeah. And that just sucks because you have no recharge time. What was I talking about?
For like almost 10 years I worked 2 jobs. Yeah.
Really?
A full-time 45 hours a week, 1 job, and then like 20 to 25 another job. Yeah.
I mean, it should be legal for those who want to do it. It should be illegal for those who are forced.
Or
I don't know.
Make it so
just
that
up the wage.
That people can earn enough to get by working just 1 job.
Yes.
1 full-time job should be enough.
That's what I mean. Because if you want to work 60, 80, fucking work every just snort caffeine and just stay up every hour forever, then do it. I think you should be able to. But if you are forced to have to work unlivable hours
just to get by,
just to feed your family,
well,
I don't know.
It was back like when Rick Perry, remember when he was the governor of Texas for like 15 years? Because then he's the guy who's like, I would get rid of the Department of Commerce, Education, and oops, I don't remember what one. He's like in Texas, I created like 10 million jobs, and then the one said, like, yeah, I've got 3 of them, and I can still barely afford to pay my bills.
Yeah, just having a lot of jobs. That doesn't mean they're actually paying the workers.
They're not the jobs anybody would want to work. So, same thing. Some lady said the same thing about George W. Bush. Like, I've got 3 full-time jobs. I feel like I contribute, but I still, having a hard time getting by. And then George's like, isn't that uniquely American? Like, what a wonderful, he's like saying, what a wonderful thing that is, that somebody could work 3 full-time jobs. How American is that?
It's ridiculous. Going across the planet, though, really exists. My wife and I are working around a combined 120 hours a week. It's enough to make me a socialist. Massive inflation issues in Australia at the moment. Well, I think we're both sending our love out to you, James Wolfe, because that sucks and no one should have to. We shouldn't have to work ourselves to death. I like my job. I liked both of my jobs. I'm glad that I did them and would do them again. However, I don't think that not everyone is able to, and even if you like your job, you should be able to take a break from it, and I think you do better work if you are able to. But also sending so much love to you and your wife, James Wolfe, and sending love to Rachel Holen, and sending love to Senator Cato. As remind ourselves the separation of church and state. The fundies are taking their last push, ladies and gentlemen. Like, religion is dying, but the fundamentalists know this, and they are trying to recruit. They recruit kids. They have no problem not only recruiting kids, they think it's the right thing to do. And so when they talk about the LGBTQ, it is a projection, just like all of the other things that they project onto us, that like we want to push an ideology and things like that. That is them. They want to push an ideology. Sending love to Senator Cato.
Thanks, Senator.
And sending love to our 3 prop tier, the commanders of the girl deck. Sending so much love to Regos, reminding us we get very thespian. We have a skeptic Bible study. That is right. Yes, we do. We want to include you. We read the Bible mostly literally. Might take a liberty or 1 or 2 words, but sending so much love to Regos. Thank you for all the support. We're knee deep in Joshua, if you get what I mean. Sending love to Matt Deig, reminding us that we actually have theories. You know. And if someone says it's just a theory, chances are they never have just taken a science class. Because they would know that you take a hypothesis and you want to turn it into a theory, a working theory, a framework of facts. Thank you so much, Matt Deig. And last but certainly not least, sending love to Ian Davenport, reminding us that all of the apologetics, the creationist arguments like Watchmaker, Kalam, doesn't matter what they are, they all tend to suck. No offense, contingency argument.
I thought you were going to say no offense to people who suck.
No, James, those are very valuable people. Isn't that right, Gavin and Iron down there? Oh,
I mean, they can only nod.
They can't say much. James, when your mouth is filled with joy, all you can do is nod.
There you go.
But yes, we are about to jump into the opposition viewpoint. We are talking interview with a vampire? No, interview with Lucifer.
This would only be better if it was Bob Larson interviewing a demon after he does an exorcism.
Yeah.
If they could like
naked
after the exorcism, like they could come and talk it out. Like, okay, how was that for you?
But okay, James, I'm handing it over to you, then we will be going soon to the opposition viewpoint. James W., are we
Hope
interviewing with Lucifer?
Doing great tonight. This is an older video. It's been out for a few years now, but it's really good. It's really funny. We're going to laugh a lot. It's pretty short. I think it's like 12-minute video, but there's so much in here that we're going to be able to talk about. I don't want to spoil everybody's fun. Oh, we've got Rebel out there. Good to see our favorite pet flat earther out there. Hope you're doing well tonight, Rebel. But yeah, so hopefully we'll be back to a more regular schedule now, putting content out at a little bit more of a regular basis. We should be back a couple times this week. Amy might have a debate tomorrow if they can get people to, if they get Christians or creationists to come and debate. It's a thing we were talking about. It's kind of hard to attract them now. Well, yeah, Nick, it's just a theory. They don't even have any. They don't have a theory. They don't have anything. They just have ideas that they blindly adhere to because it's in an old book. theories are a lot more useful than those, but they don't even have that. They just have baseless assertions that don't comport with reality, yet they defend them anyway. Because they have to. Because it's all they have. It's all they have. They don't have anything else. That's all that they have. Oh, Paul Harvey's If I Was the Devil. I mean, it's just Rebel, the devil, Satan. He's obviously just a literary device, just to introduce conflict, because a story without conflict, without an antagonist, is just boring. It's really bad. So they had to have one. They already said all the other gods aren't real, so who's going to be the bad guy? Well, okay. Got this rogue angel who was by the hyper intelligent being, much smarter than you or me, but yet he decided to launch insurrection against an omnipotent being. Well, I mean, how do you think that worked out for him? Oh, I don't know. Did it not go well? I guess not. But yeah, obviously a literary device. Obviously based on human ideas. Obviously borrowed from other religions that did have similar characters. He was not apparent in the beginning of the Bible. He's not apparently there. Originally, the snake was just a snake. It's not obvious that he is anything else other than that. God doesn't punish anything else other than that. He punishes the fucking snake, a non-sentient animal. Doesn't know what it's doing. God still punishes it because that was the bad guy in the story. He punished it by making it do what it does, by basically giving it a better body plan. Imagine a poor snake with those fucking legs. How miserable that would be. But when they do just fine without them. Now somebody like Rebel is going to say, that's not a snake. That was a reptilian humanoid. Well, yeah. Like to see one bit of evidence of that. Why do we need to show another video? We do our own content. We don't need to show up other people's videos. I'll look at it though, and I'll determine if it is something that needs to be seen by our audience, if it at least makes any sense, if it's worth their time, maybe worth a potential copyright. Anyway, Amy will be back momentarily. I'm just filling some dead air, but we've got a video coming up to watch. Interview with Lucifer. Pretty short, pretty funny. Christians playing Halloween. It's not even October yet. It's still June. Got a few months to go, but she came across it. It's really funny, so we're going to do it now. For those of you who just joined us, Amy might have a debate tomorrow. If she does, we'll be back for after show after that. Otherwise, we'll be back later in the week. We probably 2 to 3 more episodes this week. And yeah. Good to see everybody. Hopefully we'll be pumping out some content a little bit more frequently than we have been. Amy's work situation lightened up a little bit. And she will be back any minute. Right. Well, I'd say the greatest trick the religious people ever played, James, would be convincing us that the devil was real. Yeah, convincing us he was real is probably the biggest trick they ever played. Gets people the fear. Gotta have something to fear. It's a very powerful weapon. Oh, here we go, Rebel. How easy was that to suss you out? CEO of Pfizer. Throat moves like a frog. Oh boy. Okay. Reptilian humanoids. From the Flat Earther, ladies and gentlemen, from the Flat Earther. What less would you expect from a devoted Flat Earther? Go figure. Yeah, they do really work on people. Those conspiracy videos. Sometimes they really do work on people. Depends on how well they're done, how skillfully they are, but sometimes they really do have a impact on people. Glurf, gotta cope to Glurf. Well, it's just reality, man. It's just reality. The evidence for the globe is overwhelming. It's just all around us. And people have known it for thousands of years. People have been able to make these observations, the same ones we can make today, and come to the right conclusion. We've had absolute proof for centuries now. It's a done deal, but that's the thing. Some people never. Something, anything will never be accepted by everybody, no matter how apparent it is. No matter how obvious it is, how much evidence, it'll never be accepted by everybody. Getting over a bit of a cold here, but yeah, an educated guy in a basement. Yeah, that's it. Amy will be back momentarily, guys, with some remarks about the video we're about to watch, the comedy that's about to ensue. It's about to get real in here in just a few minutes. It's gonna get real. There's gonna be some bullshit you guys are about to see. I mean, we review bullshit all the time, but this is it's about a 7.0 out of 10 on the bullshit scale. It's gonna be real, and you're gonna be watching it momentarily. Last couple shows that we watched, Amy will be here for the full show this time, including the open mic, however long we do that for. She had to go for the open mic the last couple shows because of work schedule, work circumstances, but we're back to a more regular lineup today. Well, yeah, we didn't plan for your Paul Harvey video, Rebel. I'm sorry. We don't plan our content around you. I'm just feeling dead air right now. But I'll look at your silly video in good time. If it's worth our people looking at, we'll look at it. Calm down. Go watch some Flat Earth content. Soothe your anxieties about the globe. Go find a good Bob Nodell video to watch. So, rest in peace, Bob Nodell. great blow for the flat Earth cause. I've never left my body either, but I know of. So God exists, accept it. I mean, we're just asking for some evidence of that. That's all. We just want to see some evidence. We just want to see just a little bit of evidence of that, and we'll accept it. But we just haven't seen any reason to accept that. Give us something. Give us something. Oh well, thanks, Rebel. I'm sure you're. I'm glad we're keeping you entertained. You know. Oh, there is enough evidence around you. Yes, yeah. Oh gosh, the classic Christian. We don't have any evidence. Just look around. It's evidence of God. Yeah. It's not convincing to us, and you could just assert that over and over again. That the fact that anything exists is evidence of God. A creation requires a creator. Well, we don't live in a creation. We live in a natural world. It's not created by any force or anything with agency. It's seems to just exist without anybody causing it to exist. God spoke to you. Well, if God speaks to me, I'll let you know. You just want to sin. Yeah, we get that quite a bit, quite a lot. You just want to sin. I mean, Christians, they do whatever they want. Any sin that they do, they have an excuse for, or they have a way to get around that. No Christian modifies any of their behavior for God. Maybe that's a bit strong. There are some of them who do. They're usually angry and depressed and repressed, and usually that they're the ones who want to kill drag queens and kill the LGBT because they're suppressing their desires because they're afraid God will punish them if they don't do it. But okay, ready? All right.
Woo-hoo. Thank you so much, James. And all right. I think I'm just going to have a quick say, and then we'll jump into the opposition viewpoint. But what is up? I'm sending so much love to chat. Interview with Lucifer. My first question, whose team are you on? If you're on our side, why would you be torturing us? That seems like something God would do. You know, for not worshiping him or believing in him or not playing with his existential balls enough. And if you're on God's side, wouldn't that explain a whole lot more? Why else would God let such a being like you live that he could squash like a bug? Unless he wanted us to sin. Maybe God just likes playing hard to get. So he needs some sort of middleman that gets in our way of understanding the word, his word. You see, God is starting to get older. Now he has to outsource his pain and torture to someone else. He used to be able to kick ass and take names himself. Oh, those are the days. Out there on the battlefield against the Canaanites, nuking Sodom and Gomorrah. But now, when it comes to killing reprobates, really, who has the time? Not omnipotent, omnipresent God, that's for sure. So God had to get a number 2. Not someone stronger than him. No. That would upset God's insecurity about his, size. But strong enough, apparently, to avoid God. It's like magic. And tease humans to his side, where he does fuck all with them. Waste of resources. What a pipeline. Makes perfect sense. So when it comes to Interview with Lucifer, I think I'll take the Anne Rice version, where Satan wears a dress, there's a scene with a strap on, and the safe word is nacho. Cheese, nacho cheese. Oh, way hotter. If you get what I mean. But a Satan that's literally real, don't see any evidence. Thank you. And all right.
A drop of evidence. And, Andrew Martin says morality has to come from somewhere. Only a creator can do that. Yeah. There's a creator for morality. It's called us. We created it.
Right here, baby.
There you go.
Yeah, I also
There's
like
a creator
to point
for
out,
God, too.
no agents. There are no other agents that we know of. There are no other judges. So, like, when we look to judges, not only are moral judges, secular judges, the only judges that we have experience and evidence for, but there are no other judges that we know of or moral agents. How did we create ourselves? Well, we did not create ourselves. We were created by our parents with a chain all the way back until multicellular organisms, and then all the way back to single-celled organisms, and then back to where life was. And I'm queuing up the video, excuse me for coughing,
to inorganic chemical compounds becoming organic and then evolving into life. There you go, Titan. Nothing created us, we evolved. We're naturally occurring.
Yes, we were not created. Give me a second. It looks all messy, but away we go. Into Interview with Lucifer. Keep on sending comments and love. What is up, praise? I mean, big man. This is what?
Is this a mask or is this makeup?
Oh, are you trying to hit that this is not the Satan, James?
I mean, maybe.
It can't be. It can't be a Satan because, there can't be many. It's got to be the. It's like Highlander, I assume.
There can only be one.
Can only be one.
If there's many antichrists. We're like small antichrists.
Exactly. Maybe it's an upstart. James.
Okay.
Can I ask you? What about your Lucifer? What about your hell is so special that we can't just go and make a hell right down the street?
I'm not telling you you can't.
I feel like I'm quoting an SNL bit. Anyway, we're going into Interview with
my
Lucifer.
job has them all over the place. There's little pieces of hell in your neighborhood.
But my favorite part is in the middle of this. I told James that. I think we kind of both
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing. Nice jacket, Lucifer. I know, right? He just looks so relatable. That's what I like about Lucifer. But we're getting into it. Interview of Lucifer and also warning offensive comment.
You know what he kind of looks like one of those guys, like those ex-convicts they said to like scare kids straight, like don't
he looks like a guy,
don't do drugs or you'll end up the devil,
who wanted to do like film special effects, because special effects, this is what this is, not visual, where you actually are putting it on your face. This would be makeup would be a kind of special effects. Looks like a kid in drama class who just somehow got in the wrong, he just became a born again Christian.
Yeah.
But yes, one of those two things. Maybe both, James. We're getting into an interview with Lucifer, and really, we're telling you, warning, this is so offensive. Super offensive. It says so in caps.
Wow. Lucifer in the flesh.
I love how calm he is, too.
Do you know how many journalists would kill? Wait, you probably do. First, I want to say thank you to agreeing to this interview.
Guy sounds like James
I know you are
Marvel.
a very, very busy person.
This is what I imagine Hannibal Buress. Actually, no, that'd be a way better interview. But I wish Hannibal was
like
interviewing.
What is this? Gail King, R. Kelly, like that caliber of interview.
LGBT is satanic. Hey, we're willing to take Satan as long as Satan is actually committing to,
What's
the
causes. Ave Satanis? This guy's got to be a troll. He knows Titan loves Satan.
Yes.
Yeah.
I usually like to fly under the radar, but I figured since I'm already on the campaign trail, why not?
Also, the amount of dad jokes, but we're going to continue.
Okay. First, let's talk about your reign. Now, you've had a fairly long one. What would you attribute to
as in forever? Like, as soon as he has been on the scene, hasn't he been in control? Yeah. Because, but okay.
Success and popularity.
Oh, that's easy. Every generation is the same. I appeal to their lust and ego. I offer all the sex, wealth, and fame a person could want. Do as thou wilt has been my campaign slogan from the start. And my campaign platform.
I'm sorry, it's like they got shticks. He's literally got a shtick.
Well, I mean, it's like these are all things that God has encoded in our DNA to make us want. It's like Satan's like, oh, I'm going to make you want sex. It's like, well, actually, if God made us, God made us so that we want that. And then he's like, but but God wanted to be holy and good and pure, where Satan wants it to be evil. Yeah,
I mean, how do you expect to be fruitful and multiply? Like, that is the only way.
Oh, purely one man, one woman, only for kids, only for procreation. Really, why is that not what we desire to do if that's good? Oh, because we're sinful, because we have a sin nature, so therefore we just want to do evil. Yeah.
I run on the same 3 issues every generation: lust of the flesh, lust of
the flesh. So sexy time, which once again is actually what you say we should do anyway. So kind of you and God.
The eyes and pride of life.
That went a little fast. Hold on.
Lust of the eyes.
Lust of the eyes? Isn't that okay? You mean like stuff?
That's like envy, jealousy. Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing the 10 Commandments stuff. Okay.
And pride of life.
Also, that's kind of like how capitalism runs, but we'll let that. Which could be a good or a bad. Good, bad. I'm just saying. It
could be positive or destructive. You have to, at some level, want things. Otherwise, you have to want to have what you need to survive.
But no, James, you should throw it all away for a cult leader. Definitely a first century rabbi who's still alive. Definitely still alive. And we can talk to him.
Barterman says so.
It kills me because they quote atheists. They quote atheists who they know do not think that Jesus resurrected from the dead. It is what it is. That is what quote mining is.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Quite
sorry.
a quarter here.
He has such a Hannibal vibe, but he's not a comedian, and he takes this seriously, so it kills me on the inside. It's like too late.
Like,
you say lust of the flesh.
Not quite a deadpan.
It's not quite
a failure to deadpan.
What exactly do you mean?
Come on now.
Come
what
on.
do I mean? Isn't it obvious? I just use humans' own innate physical desires against them. And since sexual desire seems to be the most powerful, I usually run with that. Now, I didn't create sex, but I must say,
I just realized they got at the bottom. They got some one world shit going on over here. Like the Pope and imams started making out. And now there's a world order. This literally is like an Onion article. Like, it's killing me. All right.
I've done a superb job at perverting it.
Have you now?
Take pornography, for example.
Oh, we should.
Well, you should know a lot about this one, Ivan. Weren't you addicted to porn?
This interview is about you, about me. Can we get back?
This is my favorite part of the video, is him just admitting he likes porn. Like,
weren't you addicted to big ass Latinas? Yeah. I was the one sending you those videos of them Latina women with the big asses that you like to watch so much. Yeah, I know. I was also the one slipping in them gay porn links every once in a while. You watching your big ass Latinas, but in the side you see a guy sucking another guy's dick. That was me. I'm gonna turn you gay. I'm working on you.
That was both of me on both of those things, apparently.
Now you ain't got to be an atheist. You can go to Jesse Lee Peterson's retreat, and Pastor Peterson, he will show you all you need to know about sucking guys' dicks.
James,
ain't that right?
Kind of like a guide. It's kind of like a love.
Ain't that right? You will never ever want a woman to do that to you after after you experience it from him. You will never go back to a woman.
But also sending so much love. Subaru forever. Send a love, baby. Send a love, James. Woo, thank you so much, Subaru Eves. Woo! And we are sending that love right to you as we are talking interview with Lucifer, which is, let me tell you,
offensive. Extreme.
I love preachers saying Ivan's still addicted to porn for Ivan. It's still a sin, but that's okay.
On subject.
Now, where was I?
Where was I?
What I do is gradually get someone addicted to porn.
Oh, yes.
And once lust has had his full work and he and she can no longer restrain themselves.
Also, you're Satan. Why not just get people like really quickly addicted to porn?
I was going to say, I don't think it was gradual. I think when you're like 14 and you first find how to get to it on the internet, I think it's pretty much instantaneous.
I don't understand why gods and semi-gods play hard to get. It is very odd. But, whatever, you do you.
Says they usually look to act out their fantasies on someone. And
do they now?
That's someone's child.
Now, someone's child. Did you see that, Amy? What? Did you see that? How he takes it from porn to child molestation.
And they like to do this consistently with the LGBTQ community. And yet, when we bring up Mary's age, when we bring up how the Catholic Church passing priests around like SeaWorld, TM Bill Burr, when we bring up Aisha,
famous prophet.
Muhammad's favorite wife. But yes, they like to tie this stuff. I was bringing up with James, we were talking about, what's going to be the next thing. That was the constant thing. Are they going to be trying to protect next? And they always would try and say the most horrible, terrible things. And I told James, it's not that the most horrible, terrible things we are finally going to start defending. It's they're just going to start coming for all of the rights that they came for before. Just all of the people that we have fought to defend, they are just going to try and come for them. So please protect your neighbor, protect the separation of church and state.
And it's like he can't say enough things bad about porn in the video, like that sound bad. So he's got to tie it to child molestation because
the worst thing possible.
Yeah, it's like because he's it's like the only thing he can do because he can't make it sound all that bad without going there.
Indeed. Also, sending love. I don't think Smokey got sent to wherever, but we do know one imam who definitely got sent to prison. And so we're sending love to Khalil for the next 12 years. Please enjoy your stay. Well, we don't have to. Do you know why, James? We're not in prison.
There we go.
Will eventually turn to a life of promiscuity and perversion themselves, allowing me to continue my vicious cycle.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I do declare.
Many of those
I know. That was the other thing, James' point, is that he has to have a southern accent.
It's like Blanche from the Rue McClanahan from the Golden Girls, like under that mask.
I tell you, James, I may be Satan, but I would love to get you a cup of iced tea. I can't even.
Oh, extra sugar in your iced tea now.
I definitely want to spread AIDS out into every LGBTQ individual that I can, and I like to sweeten my tea with natural organic sugar. That's the other thing they used to hate. But funny enough, science marches on. We get cures for viruses because they're not anthropomorphic, and they tend to target straight individuals as well. And so we just create cures.
Do that now.
Yeah, because sex, as I squeak. Yeah, but yes. We're talking interview with Lucifer. I listen.
The actual Lucifer.
The actual Lucifer.
One and only.
A for talent, A for effort, right here for putting it all in.
Girls end up right in the porn industry. Now,
Right
how's that for irony?
So you're trying to say the
thing you had mentioned, I believe, you said lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes.
Oh, let's
elaborate.
Humans are never satisfied. You always crave more. Bigger house, bigger car, more money, more power. The list goes on and on.
Protest the nation's recent Bible ban, I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
Really is like an onion video.
I just take their natural ambitious desire, pervert it, and use it against them for their own destruction.
Pervert it. Like
my plan is to allow them to never be content. As long as I can keep them craving what others have.
Unless they have money, then they seem fairly content.
Don't have to argue, fight, even kill to get it. Humans are so easily tricked into jealousy.
Kind of like in the Bible, where they were doing all those things before Satan even existed.
Yeah.
Do.
And you know what they say?
What do they say?
Jealousy is as cruel as the grave.
Yes, I have heard that before.
Of a jealous God, huh?
The last thing you had mentioned.
Didn't you changed your name? One of your names was Jealous. But okay.
Yeah.
God or
I
Satan?
believe Pride of Life.
Oh yeah.
Now,
I'm sorry. I'm
God's
confusing
name is
my
Jealous.
Characters.
Yeah, you're
God chose Satan. Chose Jealous. This is Satan. That's right. This is the supposed bad guy.
the guy who uses jealousy to manipulate people.
How does this fit into your campaign platform?
Humans are always on a quest for knowledge.
And
Why
that's
is
horrible.
that a bad thing? Yeah.
That's horrible. Yeah.
The first humans to seek carnal knowledge over godly wisdom, and it's worked like a charm every generation since. With more,
They have sought out wisdom and gotten smarter and actually worked on their technology
It's
and
horrible.
morality and
It's sending them straight to hell.
yeah, you would think. Yeah, God seems to be doing the tricking in the Bible.
Well, as Ra always points out in that story in Genesis, the snake is the only one who doesn't lie.
The one who tells the truth.
Yeah.
more knowledge comes more pride. And you know, pride is my specialty.
Oh, yes,
Since
we
humans
do.
don't like to keep God in their wisdom, I'm able to seduce them with all types of things to help puff up their ego.
Big old fat titties.
Lately, fame has been my
A big
biggest
old
seller.
big dong.
Who doesn't like attention and
Both of
feeling more
those
important
things.
than the next person? Once I make them famous, I can really use them to promote my agenda. With their help, I've convinced
James, there have been no famous Christians. That's
Yeah,
good.
like all the famous televangelists, and like the one we lost too soon.
We should
Amy.
make a club about that. We can't just be like a first club or a second club. It's got to be like some type of 700 club where we get together
like
and
the
talk
the
about
bright
the Bible.
star in the sky that we lost too soon, Amy. Only 90 some years on this earth that we had for Pat Robertson to do his work. I mean, just imagine, Amy, if Pat could have had another 5 years, Amy.
The amount of hate he could have spread in that 5 years.
Yes. How much
It
more
touches
money he could have accumulated
someone's
in
heart.
5 more years. I mean, we remember that episode where him and Kenneth Copeland were bragging to each other about how big their bank accounts were. Like,
But yes, Rib Patty.
rip.
I'm sure he's roasting and toasting somewhere well. Though I always say I don't get why Satan would be the bad guy. I feel like he'd be on our side.
half of the world to not only accept sin, but to celebrate it.
Aren't these little, like you can see his little fangs here, kind of adorable?
Yeah, I think they gotta have to be like little like fangs in his hand. Yeah.
James, it's about
went
the
all out.
details. This is why this person needs to join drama class and not Bible class.
Do you know what has been my most enjoyable pride campaign to date?
What?
No, what?
Well, my gay pride campaign.
My
only-
gay pride.
Get the chance.
My gay
James,
pride campaign.
How much was that
It's
like
his
a setup? That was
It's his-
like knocked out of the park there.
Because it's Pride and Gay Pride and Pride Month and yeah. So
James, they cannot stand the LGBTQ.
he set Satan up with a cream puff there. That was just
An absolute.
right over the middle, just ready for him to knock out of the park, and he did it. They can't contain
Your own
themselves.
self-destruction.
No, because for whatever reason, the LGBTQ, like.
Their own self-destruction, right?
And James, do you notice how much we've been talking about it more? We haven't. I can't help it, and it has been because of them. Like, it is an insanity. Things were calming
It's
down.
a reaction to them. Yeah, it was almost becoming not even that big of a deal.
We have everything we wanted. They get upset. They're like trans rights. When we mean trans rights now, we mean treat us like humans. We got all our rights because the academics were actually doing their jobs. Everything we have, gays.
You go to the doctor, you can get medical
you can
care.
Get married. You can go to the doctor. You can go to the military. Life was actually normal. That's why they're freaking out. That's why they have all these imaginary things. All right.
Faux outrage.
Faux outrage. Yes, exactly. They're just going to make our life harder. It's not going to bother them. Nothing they implement is going to make their life harder. They are going to make our lives harder for a political campaign. Very specifically, they're going to create us as a wedge issue. And it drives me nuts.
To divide the working class.
Exactly. And from that way, it destroys all of us. Like, I'm not just saying poor woe is me, because it's like it's
what
more
they want to do to everybody.
Noise. Exactly. It's more background noise for me, but they're using it to put in political figures that they want that have none of best
our
interests.
Yes. Well, it's like they can't run on. They can't. The Koch brothers would like you to forget you're going to work till you're 80, and then we're still going to take 20% off the top of your Social Security and give it to the richest people in the country. Because Amy, if we could just get the Koch brothers a little bit more money, if we could just get them, if we could just get, if they could just have a little bit more, Amy, everything would be fine. We all have to collectively sacrifice for the richest people in the country,
James,
so that they can have more.
There are charities out there. Religious charities exist somewhere. They have, I've actually seen one throw a sandwich at a homeless person once. It's fantastic.
I mean, they tied it to a half-hour sermon, but they did give him a sandwich. But so they can't come and sell you and tell you what they want to actually do, because nobody would be on board with it. So they have to find these wedge issues to like, we're going to do that. We're going to fuck you over at your retirement. But do you want your kids? Do you want them? You want the schools pumping them full of drugs and turning them into trannies? Do you want your daughter to come home as your son? Do you want that? Doing sex change operations on toddlers like they're doing, like they want to do to your kids, which, this fear and this paranoia and this fake bullshit that they push just to get people to
pull the lever their way, or not pull the lever at all, make them apathetic. One or the other. But anyway, let's go back to fake problems. Let's go back to interview of Lucifer. They really think this person exists. This is just an actor. Surprise, surprise. You didn't want to spoil it.
Go figure.
But they really think this person exists.
Oh, you can read in the comments. There are people who are saying the sad thing is this could be real, and it would be exactly the same. It would sound exactly the same.
Exactly like this.
I get to use God's logo, the rainbow, to do it. Love is love. Right?
That is another thing that they hate.
The rainbow.
Because we have the rainbow.
He's gonna bust out a fucking thing of Skittles or something.
We did an episode where a preacher was like, "Retake the rainbow."
It's a symbol of God's love.
Our plan not only prevents you worthless humans from reproducing, it distorts the gender roles and allow me to bring all types of chaos and confusion.
All types of chaos.
Society.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just his browser history, but who am I?
Gender roles, yeah. Like I like to go in the kitchen and do the dishes too. I like to.
As long as it has no trans fats. All right, that was a Simpsons joke.
I like to wear women's clothes too.
This has been so successful. I've got men convinced they're women, convinced they're men, and some convinced they're no gender at all.
No gender
what?
At all.
I've got 2 more Pride Initiative.
Oh man, did you see how sassy he got?
Oh, he got more coming.
Got more, baby.
Pairings I'd like to introduce in the near future.
Really? I'm guessing you probably want me to ask you what they are, right?
Well, first, it's abortion pride.
It's like he's setting up knock-knock jokes. Oh, abortion pride. I just love how Satan is very specific political issues. I know, baby buttercup.
But it's kind of weird he's linking because, Amy, I don't know if you know this, but typically LGBT people don't have many abortions.
That is true. Let me tell you.
Get pregnant at high rates. Amy, you're not going to be having any. But it's funny that he's linking that in with LGBT pride. But.
Because literally, he is just taking his political views and he's funneling it through Satin right now. That is like,
pride.
Do you honestly think, is Satan going to talk about global warming next? Like,
yeah.
Also, Arnold had a fantastic. I've been looking for a word to reduce my 2-word thing. Arnold
pretty sure he has Dr.
Octagon. Give me what am I doing? Skydiving. Yeah, I will say that's on. I guess that's on my bucket list. I will say so. I've never gone skydiving, but I would love to.
Oh, that would be. I would love to too. We'll do a show skydiving.
While skydiving.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something, but then I got lost because I saw a cat. But yes, we're jumping back into interview. Lucifer. Just has a southern accent, just ridiculous.
That's right.
I guess it'd be funny whatever accent. You know, like even if they had an English accent, it would still be funny.
Mr. Batman,
why?
A straight version of Mr. Batman.
Satan, yes.
Now, I think we can pull this off.
Okay.
Society is definitely ready for it. I've enlisted to help a Planned Parenthood to work with marketing and promotions.
See, like Satan literally working with Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
This is what he is claiming. Which it just seems weird because God kind of liked abortion. He has a potion for it in the Old Testament.
He kind of did, yeah.
Grumpy's like, why jump out for a good airplane? It's true. It's true.
There you go.
And all we'll have to do is silence the so-called abolitionists and pro-lifers because the rest of the church doesn't seem to care. And second is pedophilia pride. I'm not ready for this one just yet, so we'll hold.
Once again.
Not just quite ready, so we'll hold off on it.
Just hold on.
Now, keep in mind this video is 4 or 5 years old, so still not ready though apparently. So yeah,
still waiting on. Oh, it was the liberals and the abolitionists of this who actually put child labor laws and child sex laws in place. Child abuse laws, all of these. Oh, yeah.
And once again, the first child abuse laws were put in place. The first people who advocated for them were the people who advocated for rights protecting animals. Because then they realized after they got laws against cruelty to animals that the animals had more protections under law than children. There was no law that would prevent a parent from taking a rod and beating the crap out of their kid every day for any trivial, trifling infraction. Looked at me the wrong way, beat the fuck out of them. Totally legal.
James, you don't want to spare that rod. It says so.
Do not. No. The only crime could be not using it enough, Amy, not beating them enough.
Hold off. I need to desensitize them a little more before.
Okay. This is like
change gears for a minute and talk about policy.
Let's change gears, Satan.
May consider your policies destructive, dangerous even.
Oh, yeah.
What would be your response to that? What would you say to your detractors?
I disagree. With my policies, I promise everyone ice cream.
All of my policies are aimed to do one of three things. Either
fun, cuddles, Popcorn time. I assume
Strawberry milkshakes.
Yeah.
Steal, kill, or destroy.
Oh.
And if it's not doing one or all three of
It's
those
a little bit dark. You took your project in a different direction, but okay.
things, then it's not in my agenda, and I'm not promoting it.
Okay. I'm happy you said that. It seems as if you promote your agenda differently to different
You know, that's a little bit different than the politicians I often get. A little bit more honest, but okay. Destruction. Okay. James, we're gonna have to get an interview from God next, right? If we had an interview from Lucifer,
Oh, holy fuck!
we're gonna have to put God up on there. Feel like that has to be number 2. That's right.
Yeah,
no more floods.
Do you think we could get Titan to come on the show? Like, he never actually came on and gave a. Never been on here like that. Yeah, I mean, we could ask him.
ethnicities. If so, why?
What?
Of course. I'd be a fool not to. Take black people, for instance.
Oh boy.
Lots of people, they're super
That's
spiritual.
always a dangerous statement.
So I can't really convince them that there is no God. But I have been.
No, I'm pretty sure. Give any person of any ethnicity to us. We'll try to convince them that there is no God.
Able to do as of late is convince him that he's not the God.
Like, this is like I said, a fever dream. This is like he's talking to himself, but he had to put on a lot of makeup to do so. I understand, but
God of the Bible. Now, I've been real successful at promoting black consciousness and Islam in their communities.
Oh, here we go. Like I said, they like to take the pot shots at each other. Though I shouldn't. I should just have popcorn. Here we go.
So happy you mentioned black people. It seems as if we've been at the very top of your agenda for quite some time. Why is that?
A few reasons. Black people help me reach the masses. Now, as you know, I was over music in heaven.
Why do you need people to get your message to the masses? Like, why do
I need black
God
people
and Satan? Like, it's just crazy that Satan needs like a PR campaign.
He needs black people. I mean, he needs them.
Just seems kind of odd.
My beats were so dope, I got over a third of the angels to follow me.
Beats were so dope.
What does that even mean, James? Does that mean the angels were listening to Satan? That does mean that, like, they were up there in heaven and they were like, God, who is everywhere, was like, hey, angels, what are you doing? And they're like, nothing. You're not listening to those hot beats by Satan, are you?
No. We're praising you. We're worshiping you. That's after all the only thing you made us for. It's the only thing there actually is to do, because there's literally nothing else to do but praise
all day,
you
every day.
Yeah, around the clock.
But if I could,
you
might be listening to those hot beats.
You're not praising me. You're listening to that Lucifer remix again.
But God, you gotta listen to his mixtapes. I don't know.
And once I got here to the earth,
I can't make this shit up.
I needed artists and entertainers to help me promote my message here. Who better than black people? Black people possess all the natural rhythm and music ability that I need. And it's easy for me to influence them with money, since so many of them grew up without it.
But how are you convinced?
Another reason I'm talking black people is because they're strong mentally and physically. If black men were to ever find their identity in Christ, I'd be in trouble. So I try my best to
there's no black men in the church.
And keep black men away from his family and the church.
None of them.
Drugs and incarceration are a couple.
You are okay. I am just sending a love out to the internetosphere as it continues to get ridiculous as we're watching an interview of Lucifer, as this man, I assume, just tries to, I would say, have therapy with himself. Can't say too much. I don't want to be in armchair, but it does seem like he's staring into a mirror and Freud would be crying. What was I talking about? Anyway, interview of Lucifer.
Of my more popular means. Without the head of the household present, I can become the head and influence the children without too much resistance.
So you mean to tell me that your policies are intentionally racist against black people?
Racist? This has got to be the best law I've ever come up with. Now, I can't believe that humans still believe they're different races. But to answer your question, yes. It has always been my policy to target and isolate a group of people. And out of all my strategies, this skin color thing has worked the best.
Because Amy, religion would never like divide people and like isolate people in groups, and you would never. That's not religion, right?
Yeah. So I think tribalism. I want to say no one does it better, because racists do tribalism pretty fucking well. But
that's what it's based on.
In a hot race for it, tribalism, prejudice from religion, as they have religious holy wars.
Does the God of the Bible seem to be a little on the tribalistic side? Does he seem to have kind of an in-group, out-group kind of outlook? There's us and there's them, and well, they're bad and we're good.
Did you notice, I feel like he tried to slip something in there, like he is consistently slipping his own views in there. I don't think that, biologically speaking, there are race there. Unfortunately, racism is still prevalent. And I just find it interesting that Satan has to work through just very abstract concepts. This God fellow and this Satan fellow can't seem to just come down and interact with their beings.
Go figure, huh?
What's up, Sea Science?
Oh, fuck.
When black people separated, as long as I can keep black people bitter and white people offended, I'm good.
Black people bitter. No, that is just no. I oftentimes don't want to speak on things where I have no place to say anything. I have finally come to a place where I can say, what the... Well, we've been at many what the... So we're talking about. But my goddess Lourdes, okay. And white people offended. So does that mean black people can't be offended and white people can't be bitter? Just this logic. Once again.
It's pretty silly.
Hopefully black people will never forgive. That way I can continue to use them.
Okay. My question is, what role, if any, does your administration play in this black on black crime epidemic?
Well, as great as my administration is, we can't take all the credit for this. Black people help us tremendously. By aborting so many of their babies, they allow us to bring death to their community. For the love of Christ.
I'm glad you know how to stay on topic with your politics.
Yeah, right.
As the Bible says, they sow the wind and reap a whirlwind.
When implementing all of these policies, do you ever face any resistance or pushback? And if so, from who?
One group in particular try to oppose every policy I try to implement. I would be so much further along in my agenda if it wasn't for them.
Really? So what group is that?
I just want... Every one of them is a drum roll. Like, every one of them is a setup.
Those pesky born-again Jesus followers.
Pesky born-again. Oh, look. And I love how James, why does every video that we've watched lately Xeno us? Like, their real message has always been, like, right here at the very end. Like, you have to put up with all of this. The word I'm going to keep on using is fever dream. Like, if you woke up to this man staring you in the face, you would assume acid. I would assume acid, lost your mind.
Yeah.
He's also, can we just point out how polite Satan is? I just want to, for all of the terrible, horrible
He's got
things.
a southern drawl.
He's got
a southern
James,
politeness and charm, that decadence.
He's sitting there very pleasantly, just having a civil conversation. It's not like he's making the interviewers like guts fall out or his eyes, drip.
He's helping him with his porn addiction by making him addicted to it.
I was gonna say, and you don't know what happens after the interview. He may help with his porn addiction in a different way.
Real thorn in my side. Every generation they come together.
Maybe
and try
using
to
those thorns later. You know what I mean?
One of my signature policies.
Oh, his signature
now, I convinced half of the world that Jesus.
It's his 11 featured flavored herbs and spices. I can't even do it. James, here we go.
Didn't exist, and the other half that he wasn't divine. But I can't seem to convince.
I like his little. It is sass. Do you notice his little? Like he has a little, and then he reaches up and then he goes.
Haha, thanks, Hillary.
I like it. We'll look for it.
It's me.
Yeah.
They seem hell bent on telling everybody about him and spreading his.
Hey, buddy.
Some of me believe he's coming to unseat me in this generation. Crazy, huh?
That shit.
It is.
Those idiots are really messing with my legacy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy because you keep on saying that Jesus, not you, I guess the followers. Well, I guess you, because under the makeup, but we're waiting for that Jesus fellow to come back, the second coming. We're giving him permission.
He'll be here any day now.
Does he need a finger up somewhere? I understand.
Wow.
So, Lucifer.
If I can call you Lucifer, I don't want to be too formal. I don't want to call you Mr. Lucifer. That was my father.
Feel when us idiots say that Jesus possibly could be coming back in this generation to unseat you?
Look at that smile.
That's smart.
Look at that. As if he didn't write these questions himself. All right, here we go.
Y'all been saying that for centuries. I just use it as motivation to get as much of my agenda pushed through and deceive as many people as possible before he returns. I think I've done
his agenda, more bird feeders in Central Park, very specifically.
Pretty well. My record speaks for itself. About 150,000 people die each day, and most of them don't know Jesus.
And so you're torturing them, right? In hell? Because you don't know Jesus
made those rules.
Makes sense.
150,000 people. You know what? This concludes our interview. I want to say thank you for open, honest, pretty frank discussion with me. Is there any last words you would like to leave?
How funny is that, though? Like, can you imagine talking with Satan and at the end of the conversation be like, listen, I know you are the Lord of Darkness. I know you are the Prince of Evil. But I want to thank you for having a really honest conversation. Really just having a heart-to-heart. I feel like we connected. There's coffee actually at the left. Sarah puts amazing donuts out. Thank you, Satan.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like thanking him for being honest. But that's he's isn't he known for being a liar, like a deceiver? But yet he's coming in and just telling you exactly what he's doing.
But James,
the snake was the only one who told the truth in the Bible.
Once again, everything that he may be speaking is the tongue of vipers, but he just has a really, I don't know, he just connects with me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like we're just.
With our viewing audience.
Yes. I'd like to take this moment and give us
I want to tell all of you out there that you're the real heroes. Thank you, Satan.
I'd like to
Special
thank the
thank you
Lord Jesus
to groups
Christ.
of people. First, I want
And all of them setups to jokes. Like this guy is Hannibal's brother. I swear, I'm convinced now. But apparently he became a fundy.
to say thank you to all my followers. You are the hands and feet of my administration, and we could do nothing.
James, we're atheists, but they think we're Satanists, so I feel like this is just our time to give thanks.
Well, LGBT people too.
Exactly.
Keep up the good work, spread my message. And second, I'd like to say thank you to the divided church. I love the way
Another thing that they like to say. Once again, if you want to not
church
divide
has always
yourself.
been divided.
Yeah. There's a billion denominations. An absolute billion. So
yeah, like his answer to the divided church is, of course, well, you should all just adopt my version of Christianity. There you go. Problem solved. There you go. No more division, Amy. Just all adopt my version of it. Then there will be no more division.
yes. And if
the
you
other- all the
disagree,
other
you're probably going to
denominations-
hell.
All the other denominations, well, they say, well, yeah, the Presbyterians say, yeah, we could unite Christianity. All you have to do is become Presbyterians, and then we'll all be right, good, true Christians. And then the Catholics can say, yeah, I'll come back to the Catholic Church and we'll be united again.
In fairness, I have not heard a snake have a voice box, right?
Well, I've never seen evidence of it. Yeah.
This dude, his browser history must be off the chart. Because my favorite part. What's
Yeah.
I mean, he just very early on, and I can't believe how early it was. But James, sometimes it just happens fast. But he admitted that he had a porn addiction at like 1 minute 50 seconds. Satan's just like, oh, I know you. You're the one who jerks it and twerks it. He's like, oh, that's me.
Well, we're not here to talk about me.
Not me, silly.
I don't watch porn. Like Alex Jones said, there are two types of people: those who watch porn and those who lie about watching porn.
That is probably the only statement I have ever. That is the second
True
statement I have agreed with Alex Jones with, which is kind of crazy. The first being, of course, him just announcing that you shouldn't like the guy with the mustache.
I think he was bad.
I'm very sure that was the bad guy.
Are we really sure he was the bad guy, Amy?
James, I'm not even sure this is the right
Pretty
timeline.
sure he was bad. Yeah.
This can't be. Anyway, we're about to finish interview with I want to say vampire. Anne Rice is so deep. Interview with Lucifer.
I thought you were going to say that the other thing you agreed with was about him saying about turning the frogs gay. I thought that was going to be the other thing you agreed with Alex Jones about.
James, I
Porn
guess life just
frogs.
comes in threes. So
Amy's turning the frogs gay.
Turning the frogs gay. He also just happened to have T-Girl porn pop-ups. But
He did.
Dude,
it's a pop-up. It's probably Satan just sending that to him.
Exactly. Try and trick the media into just thinking that he likes girls with a little bit something extra. But James, who does it? We're watching Interview with Lucifer. We're about to finish. And this gentleman he's been a very honest Satan. That's what I like about Satan, James.
It's like the Satan from the Bible. He doesn't actually tell any lies.
Argue and use your passions to fight amongst each other. Keep up the good work.
Thank
There's
you.
really no rush to tell people about Jesus. You all have to.
Jesus, it almost sounded like he was gonna say cheese. It sounded like he was gonna say Jesus, but okay.
Plenty
Don't
of
worry
time.
about Jesus.
Oh my, the war broke out. Okay. This
Narrate
is like
this.
what happens when you have a cheap run movie or film. You have to start. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Pew, 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 pew. And the dragon and his angels fought back. This is totally not fantasy. But he was super not
Literal
strong
history,
enough.
Amy.
Literal history. And they lost their place in heaven. Oh, sad face. The great dragon. Oh, there's a great dragon? Not just a regular dragon, James. A great dragon was hurled down. That ancient serpent called the our main man, the devil, 50% softer, Saturn, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Sad face again.
Womp, womp, womp.
Dum, bum, bum, bum. But yes, that was Interview of Lucifer. We're about to go into
There
the
you go,
open mic.
That's it.
We have been hearing so much wisdom. James, I'm sorry. The moment religion cosplay for adults who don't realize they're cosplaying. That's true. Because I like cosplaying, but it's like cosplaying but not realizing
You
you're
don't
cosplaying.
realize you're doing
Yes. The Pope Mobile is cosplaying as well. The guy, his funny dress and
it. Yeah. Having faith in God versus faith in bulletproof glass.
exactly. That whole Carlin bit in the back of my brain. But yes, we are Midnight Ranting on Interviewing with Lucifer. We're apparently doing it in lingerie, just like Anne Rice would want us to. But we're also going to be inviting you. Come join us if you would like. Especially creationists.
There's one of them out there. He who shall not be named.
All right, they're sent out there into the wild, but I just am fascinated by all these interpretations of Satan, by this guy's, once again, fever dream, only example that I could use to explain it. And oh my, we have...
Oh boy.
He's a theist, I think, for now. But one day, I'm telling you, James, it's soon.
Here to talk about that sacrum. He's still not convinced, Amy. Lucy's sacrum.
Lucy's sacrum. I may actually be right back for 1 second, and then we'll get C science. Well, yeah, let me go fast. And C science, fast. You will be our very first one.
Our first up.
But I'm also
you
pinning.
Go,
Boop, boo-doo.
Pin it.
That's pinned. We are talking Interview with Lucifer. James, wasn't that a whole bunch of wisdom?
It just overflowed with wisdom and politics. Yeah, a lot of politics, a lot of silliness, a lot of religious dribble. Mostly not anything we're not accustomed to, nothing we haven't heard before, but no, this is not Peter. Well, actually, I don't know. I can't say that for sure, Sinister. It could be. I have to see what's going on. Anyway, yeah. Humorous video, though. Humorous. A lot of silliness in there for us to point out. And we did. So if you guys are just joining us, Amy, we may be back tomorrow night. Amy may have a debate scheduled. She may have a debate scheduled for tomorrow. That we'll be back to do an after show for, because I'm getting climbed over by our producer. Otherwise, we will still be back later in the week for at least another episode, maybe 2, maybe 3. To come back now that her schedule's opened up a little bit more. We have a little bit more time. Gizmo engaged. He is ready. He had a little bit of a nap, but he is back in action. Back in black with his black nose. He is ready to go. That cat. Yeah, that's the cat. And yeah, what a video though, guys. What a video. Amy sent that to me like a week ago. I said, oh yeah, this is it. We got to go for this. This is going to be amazing. Literally amazing. And it was. But she's got the link posted. If anybody else wants to come and tell us how amazing it was, feel free. Come and let us know. We need more Gizmo. Yes, we certainly do. Well, we've got Grumpy Cuss back there. Good to see you, Grumpy. Representing Lucifer himself, I imagine. Yeah, representing Lucifer himself, I imagine. We just saw give an interview, as ridiculous as it was, though. Once again, point out that he didn't lie in the interview, just like he didn't lie in the Bible. Welcome back, Newman.
He's a nice guy. Woo-hoo. And all right, we're going to get C Science on, and then we'll get Grumps on. We'll keep on going down the list. But we are going into our... Yeah, yes, it is. Moonlight saying hi. My baby boy. Are you looking? He wants the pink seat. He loves the pink seat. Only because it's pink. Yes. Yes. Hi. I know. You want the seat? You want this here? Yes, you do. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Cat has chair. We're going into Midnight Ranting. Or we're going into our Midnight Ranting open mics. Woohoo! We are talking interview of Lucifer. Dun, dun, dun. And we have C Science and Grumps. Woo!
Hey guys, how you doing?
Welcome back.
I'm doing good. How
Am I
are
coming
you?
in clear? Doing good.
Yes,
doing
you are.
good. I wanted to say I was happy to see you guys are on tonight again. That's excellent. Had something to do finally.
We're glad
something to
be
watch.
back.
It's entertaining.
Exactly.
Good to see you guys back on. So yeah, I mean, I've got some stuff to rant about. I've decided to leave. Well, I'm going to stop identifying as a Christian now. It's true.
Okay.
But I'm going to be a creationist. Yeah, but I'm a creationist that believes in Jesus. And he died and he was born again. You know, I'm just not going to identify along with the other Christians because I just sat in a room and I listened to Christians justify, like, basically with the words of Paul, like New Testament writer, okay? You know, new books. They tried to justify that the 10 Commandments don't matter. And somehow you're exempt from them because you're a Christian. And I'm like, no, you're not exempt from the laws of God. Sorry, go ahead, Amy.
Oh no, I just I hear them fight back and forth. I hear the phrase just the Old Testament. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they reject the scriptures and then hold on to Paul's words, who, as you know, did kill Christians. I mean, I don't want to accuse the guy of being a murderer, but it is written in the Bible that he killed Christians. So then you have all these Christians.
You're on an anti-Paul bent.
Huh? Well, I don't know if I'm anti-Paul, but I'm just saying, like, I would prefer, or I value the words of the scriptures of the Old Testament over the words of Paul. You dig what I mean? But my problem is that they're basically justifying, and I know this has nothing to do with the video, but I only got to watch a little bit of that It was hilarious. But listen, they're basically they're like, we don't have to worry about the 10 Commandments because, Jesus made all our sins go away, or made us be able to pass the judgment or whatever, so that they don't matter anymore. It's like, that's not the point. You guys are missing the point. It's the duty of mankind to follow the commandments. If you're relieved of all sin, that's great, but you still have to follow what God told you to do. You don't just get to disregard it, and you definitely don't, get cheeky about it and talk crap about the commandments, like how flawed they are. Because they're not. Cheeky. I mean, like sassy. It's like American sassy. They cheek. They talk crap about it to get a rise out of people.
We don't get cheeky.
Well, they got a rise out of me. So I was just putting that out there. But go on.
I can't imagine them getting a rise.
I don't know if you have anything.
Oh no, on that kind of stuff, we just let. Okay. Well, and while you're doing that, I'm actually going to add in Grumps because we want to go open as much as possible. So it's the perfect time. Grumps, just going to add you. Welcome, Rummy. Woo-hoo. We are Midnight Ranting on interview with Lucifer. Lovely having you back on. What are your thoughts?
Well, thanks for having me on. My thoughts were that was almost as good as one that I did last year. And it was a propaganda video where it had Satan telling you what he was going to do to everybody. And it's really fun being the token Satanist in the room, especially when you keep on doing references to Satanists.
Well, they think we're Satanists, so I get to be one even though I'm not one.
Yeah, but
we get to talk to a live actual Satanist.
People forget that we're atheists. Oh.
Yeah, I'm sympathetic to a lot of the tenets of Anton LaVey's Satanism. And then it gets get less sympathetic the more it gets to a theistic Satanism.
Yeah.
Though more sympathetic than I would, which always drives Christians crazy, than I would be, a theistic Satanism if there was actual evidence. Because I know whose team I would be on if they were like, hey, the Abraham God is real and here's the scientific evidence. And I'd be like, oh, okay. So Team Satan, right?
Yeah.
This guy was so nice. Did you see him? He has manners.
Most Satanists are atheists, though. Probably 95%.
Yeah, probably most.
It's the reason why I made sure to put it in this behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Got the nice A symbol.
Oh, the atheistic Satanist.
Yeah. But, no. It was a very interesting video.
Yeah, he was a very polite Satan, even though he seemed to have some things going on that he might need to work out. But, whether you're the Lord of Darkness or, Bob down the street, we all got things to work out.
Yeah.
All right. We are going.
I like throwing babies into wood chippers for fun.
Well,
Can I get you some more iced tea?
We have to, I think, throw one into a volcano. Mandatory, I believe, to have membership. I'm pretty sure.
Possibly.
But we're going to get Beamsy on.
Grandfathered out of that. But.
What's up, Beamsy? We are Midnight Ranting on interview with Lucifer, and we're having fun. How are you?
Can't complain. But you better be careful throwing people into volcanoes. It might start the Star Trek religion over again.
Damn it.
Scientology. Yeah.
Oh, goddess. Did you know
the Futurama Star Trek religion?
Oh, really? Is throwing into that there's a lot less Scientologists than we thought. I've been watching a lot of videos lately of just seeing the actual numbers of Scientologists, and they are in
There's not that many, are there?
Exactly, the hundreds.
Really? Like in the hundreds? Like not even in the thousands?
And maybe thousands, but not like
Not 10 or 20,000.
Yeah, not like what you would think in a major religion. But I guess that's the whole fighting for tax exempt and all that.
Yeah, and if you're going to throw babies into the wood chipper, make sure it's feet first. That way you can enjoy the expression on their face.
Well, obviously, Beamsy. I think that goes without saying. But...
You have these things down to a science. Cat.
Yeah, the biggest thing that would be the issue with that is it doesn't even represent what Lucifer does look like.
Okay, I'll bite. What does Lucifer look like, Beamsy?
Lucifer the Morning Star. He actually is multiple wings and multiple harps and organs. He was one of the most beautiful of angels, and he had never changed his form. So you would be looking at a divine light while hearing a chorus of orchestras while he speaks, even though he is now the representation of hell.
Yes.
I don't know where they get the horny devil from, because that's more of our line of work.
Or like the Mystery Science Theater version of The Devil versus Santa Claus.
Yeah,
that's a great show.
They just represent it more as Beelzebub, not as Lucifer. Again, I don't even know where those originally came from. I haven't looked that deeply into it.
The horned devil with the goat legs and stuff.
That's Beelzebub. I know where that comes from, but it's more of why do they confuse the two of them?
I think it has a lot to do with the Roman Catholic Church and their skewing of the Bible. I mean, they really tried to get far from it. Yeah. Would you agree with that, Beamsy?
I would agree that most mythology is done that way.
That was a sassy answer. But anyway, so like...
Oh, well, what would you expect from here?
I guess I don't know. I guess, like, I can't talk about this stuff with the theists because they repress it. I can't talk about it. You guys aren't going to be interested in it. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do I do? I got these people telling me that Paul knows better than Jesus, basically. It's like, oh, let's talk about the Bible. Let's read more.
No, the thing would be was that after Jesus resurrected, there was a new covenant that Jesus couldn't talk about because he hadn't resurrected yet. So when he was doing his ministry, he was in old covenant mode. So Paul was the representation of the new covenant that only took place after Jesus resurrected. So it's not, they wouldn't say that one knows more than the other. It's just different modes, representations of the gospel.
Yeah, I dig it. I just I don't see, like, to me, I feel like different parts of the Bible trump the other parts. Like, for instance, the scriptures trump the gospels trumps the work of Paul and John and Timothy and Peter. You know what I mean?
That's
I don't know. It's just my opinion.
Determination. But yeah, hey. Would you have somebody else backstage?
Oh, sorry, brother.
But let's get Lucifer from backstage into the main stage here. Welcome aboard, Lucifer.
Hey, can you all hear me?
We hear you, Amaretto. It's good to see you. How you doing?
Hanging in there. This fucking video. I think Sinister. What is it? I think it was Sinister Porpoise said it best. Like, I mean, the makeup would look great in Babylon 5, but like,
that's true.
I can't.
Like
I mean,
out of Babylon 5.
Mind you, I'm coming in kind of like late and wrong to all this, but this. I really didn't take enough psychedelics to like see that on my screen tonight. I really didn't. I'm stone cold sober. I
Are
feel
there
like,
enough psychedelics on the planet, though?
I don't know, but you know, I find it interesting because, like, if I remember correctly, wasn't like Lucifer the name given to the devil before he was cast out? So wouldn't he not look like that in the first place? Like, they don't even know their own fucking like distinctions between Beelzebub, Lucifer, and Satan.
Most people agree he wouldn't look like that. Yeah.
No, he wouldn't. If we're talking like Bible canonically, definitely not. I don't know. I just find it as like just really. I can appreciate.
Have you happened to seen pictures of the Krampus? Fans on
oh gosh, yes. I'm pretty aware. Well,
okay, so that's actually really old.
Go ahead.
Sorry, it's been a second since I've seen it, but really I remember.
So yeah, they have the parades, you know, over in Holland and Germany and Deutschland over there. You know, we've got this old tradition going back a long time, where people dressing up like these goat monsters, you know, that are called Krampuses. Well, when the Catholic Roman Church came there and they, Catholicized the area, they turned all the festivals like that into more Christian-like festivals. And then that character kind of became the devil character of the parade. You dig? Where they actually had like a pope like being dragged by these horned devil-looking creatures. Have you seen this? All you got to do is look up Krampus Parade 2022.
I haven't seen the parades, to be honest, but it's like I'm actually that's a large part of my heritage. Like, I'm actually German, more specifically like Prussian. Like, my ancestors yeeted themselves out of Europe before Germany became like Nazified. Thank God, because most of the people I've dated were Jewish. Woo. But yeah, I have to look into the parades and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's that kind of tracks, because I mean, speaking as like someone who's on the paganistic side of theology, like the church is really well known for taking pagan traditions and incorporating them into Catholic or Christian practices to kind of basically gain followers, to make it like an easy transition, I guess. Which is hilarious, because to this day, I argue and debate with people who dispute that actively. But, it's, why are you drinking? Why are you, what do you think that you're doing when you're drinking wine and eating a cracker and calling it the body and the blood of Christ? Like, that's basically witchcraft. That's a form of witchcraft. That's all it is. You're taking pagan traditions.
That's something Jesus himself instituted.
Jesus was witchcraft. I'm going to die on this hill. Jesus was witchcraft 2023. That's all it is. Jesus was a witch. I'm going to die on that hill. Jesus was a witch. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a really, like, from when I started tuning in, very, very funky video. I like I said, I could appreciate a good production, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced. I mean, last I checked, I'm still like, I mean, listen, if you want to like have a more realistic interpretation of Satan, you just need to like look at my OnlyFans. I mean, my vagina is the portal to hell. That's all I'm going to say on that.
I'm pretty convinced. I don't know.
Congratulations. First you had my attention, now you have my erection.
Thank you so very much, everyone. Go check out her OnlyFans. Don't worry. And we are now going to bring on Sinister Porpoise. Sinister, welcome on board. We are Midnight Ranting on interview with Lucifer. Hope you're doing well, and what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'd like you all to support my Orca brethren in their quest to sink the wretch.
I agree.
I will donate to the cause if we can get Elon Musk on a boat. Please and thank you.
Eat the rich?
Yes.
No, sink the rich.
Oh.
I mean, it's... Well, you sink the rich, but yeah, basically what? Yeah, I mean, listen, just treat it like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna remember this movie like at some point, but it was a movie in the '90s about genetically mutated sharks that, and like I think Cuba Gooding Jr. was in it. Just do it like, just treat it like
Sharknado.
Not Sharknado. It was a different shark movie. I saw this in movie theaters as a kid. It was great, but point being. Just sink him and then just rip his body to shreds. Let the pool of blood just spread to the surface of the ocean and free everybody. I support our Orca brethren.
Listen, as a former Mormon, I just want to say to my spirit brother here, it's like you need to do your makeup a little bit better and earlier before you go to these interviews.
A little bit. Yeah.
Babylon 5. Reminded me, I haven't thought about Babylon 5 in a while. That's a late 90s like thing.
Or at least hire a Star Trek quality makeup artist.
I was gonna say, I didn't realize that we were cosplaying. Like, where's the religious fantasy con? I want to go.
Yeah, we have one person.
I need somewhere to debut my biblically accurate angel cosplay.
Well, that wouldn't be Salt Lake City.
No, not Salt Lake City.
Hey, Athena.
I would want to see maybe. I don't know if Muslims would take too kind to it, but I would be okay with it.
Just want to say this.
Listen, they say the Quran came from an angel. I'm just putting that out there.
I just want to say this interview was much less painful than trying to explain Taoism in 2 simple sentences.
And we are going to get
to an autistic person.
Purple in. Oh my god, that conversation last time. That was the only thing I wanted him. He asked everyone, like Sunflower asked everyone but you that question. Like, which, anyway, purple.
Hello.
Purple Ryan's good.
Okay.
Welcome.
I mostly had to get in here. Since Sinister Porpoise is in here with Sink the Rich, I just have to clarify that if you sink the rich, you don't have to eat them yourselves. The crabs will do that when they sink to the bottom.
Oh, they make excellent shark food.
I mean, if no one else will eat him, I will totally take one for the team.
Just leave it to the crabs.
I want his spleen. Give me his organs.
Athena, get down. Oh, sorry, I should have muted myself.
You could do some kind of like pagan ritual with them or something. Yeah, there you go.
It's okay, Porpoise. As usual, I have a kitty sleeping on my ankle.
Yeah, and you can either have a cat or have blinds, but not both.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I gave up on that.
Okay, I do have to be upfront that I have had. I have lost count of how many shots of whiskey were in this.
Shot.
I mean, that sounds like not a problem. I mean, was it good whiskey?
It was middle tier.
That's not bad.
I was gonna say I would drink really good whiskey for a video like this. This is kind of.
It is 2:30 in the morning, and I have been very desperate to try and fall asleep.
All right, that's what this podcast is for.
It's kind of like a Jack Daniels kind of video, or Wild Turkey.
Fireball.
I feel like Fireball's too good for this video.
Okay, I want to get a trademark on Fireball tea as my patented drink. It's my own homebrew hot brewed. It's my own home brew of hot brewed iced tea with a double shot of Fireball whiskey.
I'm going to offer up Teeling's Irish whiskey, given I was in Ireland a couple months ago. Very good stuff. I got so much of this for free on the airplane. It was great.
Although most of the time I
stuffed your bag with it. Hey.
Most of the time my normal is Windsor Canadian in ginger ale.
Have you considered replacing the Fireball with Jägermeister?
No,
I don't know if they hate themselves. You only do that if you hate yourself. Or if you're going to use Jaeger, at least make fun shots and then make a drinking game out of it.
Okay, but isn't Jägermeister actually like beer?
No, it's black liquor.
No, it's a liqueur. Like with a lot of liqueurs, it was traditionally like a sort of
aperitif.
Yes, aperitif, digestive. Things that were basically brewed from herbs and spices, kind of used for like healthcare of some sort.
Help you digest your meal after.
Hey, you either like black licorice or you hate it, and I like black licorice.
I hate
it. Yeah.
See, I use Jaeger in a signature shot of mine, and you barely taste the Jaeger, but it's just a little bit of a floater on it, and that's all you need. The melon and the raspberry take over, and like I said, Jaeger's great if you want to make a drinking game out of this. I mean,
with the Midori and the razzmatazz, something like that.
Yes, sex on the alligator.
Drinking games and YouTube do not mix.
Oh, I do that. I do drinking games on my stream all the time. I mean, I stream on Twitch, but same difference,
I had one drinking game where every time where the guy said narrative, you took a drink.
Oh no.
Just don't ever play the Book of Mormon drinking game. And yay, drink.
Well, that has to be, and it came to pass.
And it came to pass, and lo.
I have read the Book of Mormon twice. It's.
Is it?
Wait, once wasn't enough for you?
I'm an ex-Mormon.
You were a Mormon, Sinister.
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
Exmo.
Oh, no.
Oh, ex-Mormon too, Grumpy? Okay.
I was going to say, sorry. It would not be unreasonable for an ex-Mormon to have read the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Yes, it is not. I didn't realize you were ex-Mormon, because I was about to say, I feel like I have a hard time even getting through the Bible once. I can't even imagine the Book of Mormon multiple times.
If you think the Book of Mormon is bad, try the Doctrine and Covenants. Although there are some bits of the Doctrine and Covenants are hilarious, like when Joseph Smith gets caught, can I say screwing the help?
Dun 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 dun.
Like their 14-year-old maid. And then
the most important question is, did you keep your magic underwear when you left the Mormon church?
I never got my magic underwear.
You didn't even get the best part of the Mormon experience. Wow.
Been there, done that, didn't get the funny underwear.
I read the Bible when I was 14, and that's what made me a pagan for 25 years.
Yep, I got a Bible from Sunday school, and I randomly turned to it when I was about 11 or 12. And the story I opened up to was the story of Lot and how his two daughters were basically plotting to fuck their dad so that they could have a baby. And I was like, I noped the fuck out after that. I was like, nope, I'm good.
So they're basically there's nobody else we're going to be able to have a baby with. So, hey, we're going to have to get our dad to fuck us.
Well,
incest is not incest in that case. No way.
My eldest brother is 15 years older than I am, and he gave me a personalized Bible with my name engraved on the cover and all this bullshit. So that's why I decided to read it. It did not go as he had expected.
I mean, it never does, because whether or not you're atheist or you're a person of like spiritual like leanings, like I'm not a full blown atheist. I'm atheist friendly, but like, you know, people can't stand when you actually read the books and then like question them.
Well, by the time I got into Leviticus, I was thinking they can't expect me to take this seriously.
Well, that was what I tried to do when I was in between, when I was like questioning religion. I tried to like read the Bible, but from like a neutral perspective. Like I'm just gonna act like I've never seen this shit before, never heard about it. I just randomly find a book and pick it up and start reading it. I was like 8 pages in, and I'm like, God damn, how could anybody believe this shit? This is like crazy.
Yeah. Honestly, I found reading Leviticus to be traumatic, because the passages that were saying about anyone who had been, you know, deformed or, you know, like injured
damaged,
or, you know, damaged, could not enter the temple. And I was like, so you're saying the disabled people who really need God's help the most are forbidden from entering his home?
There are a lot of messed up stories in Exodus. Reading Moses, like, for the first time, you realize how much that got with Pharaoh's heart, that he froze his heart 5 times, and that it's kind of God's fault. If you're going to freeze someone guy's heart 5 times and make him do the opposite.
Okay, I have another question about the Bible. When you were reading through it and you got to the story of Balaam and the donkey, was anyone else thinking that was just inserted because people got so bored with the Jewish laws?
They had a talking donkey, and they're like, hey, is anyone still reading this?
That's what it read like to me. It's like...
Well, I've never seen that before. I've never read that before. See, when you say talking donkey, I just automatically think Shrek.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
I grew up in a Catholic family in a community that was 85% Jewish. So the whole thing about the story of, you know, Mary, it just instantly seemed to me like this is the story a Jewish mother came up with because her daughter-in-law was pregnant before the wedding and she didn't want the aunts to gossip.
Oh, God.
Oh. So what Amy was saying before, like, Immaculate Conception, right, Amy?
Does not happen. That BB cheating, that's what that means. That means she having sex on the side. I mean, I don't know how to... They make fun of the LGBTQ. They're like, oh, you don't know biology. And then I'm like, all right, so like, there was a guy and his rib gave birth to who? And I continue to get in arguments with people who are like chromosome, man, chromosome, woman, and God, man. And I'm like, do you see the premises? Do not leave the conclusion.
They're so fucking stupid about this shit because, as is customary during the month of June, one of my hobbies is arguing with TERFs on Twitter. And every time I'm on a one-person mission to combat TERF Island. I'm coming for you, England.
What do you have against England?
It's TERF Island.
So very specifically because of J.K. Rowling, I think, but there has been actually a significant pushback specifically in England against transgenders. Now, if you are transgender in England and you're having a grand old time, and there's a good chance you are, good. I'm glad. I hope you are having a grand old time. But there is also a significant amount of trans radical exclusionary feminists, so white, that are getting very angry at trans women for no reason.
If y'all have never heard of Mumsnet, it's a fucking rabbit hole. Like, I was lucky enough to not encounter any TERF bullshit when I was in Ireland. compared to the United Kingdom, the Republic of Ireland, I should say. And even now, like Northern Ireland is kind of becoming a little bit better. But I would say most of the issues are in the country of England. I don't even think Scotland possibly, but Ireland was. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have a couple of prominent people in Scotland that are really loud on Twitter, from my understanding, that are TERFs. But by and large, most of the problem is England, the English TERFs. They are crazy, and Ireland was nothing like that. It was great.
Didn't the Scottish Parliament try and recognize transgender people on the passport, and the English Parliament blocked it?
I have to look into that. I do, the one thing I do know is the English Parliament kind of has a stronghold. Like, Scotland actually had a vote to leave the UK. They wanted to leave the UK, and basically Parliament is so dominated by England that, England is so dominant in the UK Parliament that nobody can leave. Wales and Scotland. The only reason Northern Ireland is a gray area even is because the new IRA is still very active. When I was over in Ireland, there had just been an attack against a police detective not too long before I came over there. And then within a couple of weeks after leaving, the terrorist alert had actually been raised, like a travel alert had been raised for anybody traveling to Northern Ireland, because it's still very much a gray area.
The IRA still over there? They're still active?
Yes. Well, because to be honest, if you ever go to Northern Ireland, take the black taxi tour. Your cabbies will definitely tell you and show you the history of it in such a way. It's one of our cabbies actually had his sister. He implied that she was murdered by the British police. She had no part in anything, but that's why they implied they joined the IRA and were actually in jail in Northern Ireland for being a part of the IRA as a teenager.
Yeah, well, because even Brexit wanted to, or even rather Scotland wanted to reject Brexit and continue to be part of the EU.
Yeah, exactly. And,
I want to thank Scotland for all of those excellent Trump insults that day.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I was gonna say Turf Island is a big fucking issue, and the unfortunate part is people in the States are getting emboldened by what they're seeing over in the UK, and it's a fucking shit show. But back to my original point before we kind of diverge a little bit. The whole thing with TERFs is they love to use basic biology, but they don't even understand that basic biology, biology disputes what they're saying. There are so many different cases of people not having XX and XY purely as chromosomes. It's as the only chromosomal. Wait, how do I English this? Basically, they're not the only phenotypes that are out there. There are so many different, intersex conditions that exist. And it doesn't mean that they're abnormal or wrong. It's shit happens. And we learn more and more every single day about how biology and gender and sexuality kind of intertwine.
One of the things that's interesting about it is that the transphobia in England takes on an almost paternalistic character, especially with J.K. Rowling, if you read her manifesto, where she's complaining, it's like, oh yes, they're turning these poor, confused girls trans. It's like, not necessarily. I mean, I'm sure some of it happens, and J.K. Rowling, you're not an expert on this.
Exactly. Oh, it's so great because it's for anybody who doesn't remember me, because I haven't been on in a while. So I identify as transgender. I'm non-binary and gender fluid. It's so wonderful leaving to have the cis. There's a large component of cisgender gay and lesbian people now who are, it's the LGB without the T. And
funded by an American hate group.
Yeah, it's great. But it's so wonderful to have a bunch of cis gay men just call me a confused little straight girl who wants to feel special. And I'm like, I'm not even straight, but go off. But go off, motherfucker. I'm like, I'm probably queerer than you, and if you didn't see me presenting femme, you'd probably want me to call you daddy any day of the week. But go off. Good job. You're so great. You're so wonderful. Like, it's so stupid. There was one turf that was going off about like trans women trying to go try on lingerie, and they had the nerve to be like agreeing with this person is like, we should have blacklight scanners to see if any men have tried on the lingerie and like had a coitus in the lingerie in the dressing rooms, like just to, and I'm like, who the fuck do you think? Like, I swear, I think TERFs are some of the most perverted, fucking repressed people ever. Well, it's their own fucking fantasies. They just want to fucking have sex in the dressing room. That's them.
But American,
I don't know about
Amy just wants to find a bra that actually fucking fits.
Well, that too. But they very specifically, I often find the people who hate anti whatever they are, if they're anti-gay, they tend to be gay. If they're anti-trans, I mean, the fact that she writes under a male name and then writes a lot of male gay erotica, it's just weird that it's a weird coincidence that she just does these trans male things and then is like, I fucking hate trans males and transgenders. And so it's like,
well, there's like a layer of like misogyny to it too, because if you look at a lot of stuff, like it's against trans femmes. There's not a lot of focus on trans men. The only one I can really think of was I think his name was Mac Biggs or something like that. He was a trans mask high school wrestler in Texas who was forced to wrestle in the women's category, and he won a championship, and people were so mad. They don't even want you to wrestle or participate in anything based upon your birth gender. They just don't want you to exist.
Also,
like, stop. It's
I just want to say that this show is sponsored by straight white men. No, I'm just teasing. Thank you so very much, the freak who says shout out to James W.
Hey, Athena.
Rest of you are irrelevant. Lol.
The freak, if you were relevant, you'd be able to give more than $2, you cheap ass fuck.
Oh no, I am sending so much love. Thank you so much, the freak, for that $2. We are
so doesn't want to flaunt his wealth. Then you'll want to eat him.
If we can go back to our discussion of books, I can recommend 2 books that will change your life. The C programming language and the Rust programming language.
What, nor Fortran?
Who still programs in Fortran?
Hey, it's fun to read.
Well, I guess it is still used, but COBOL's still out there too, so. Athena, are you the reason I can't be an atheist?
I wanna have a good time. I don't want to break. It's not the book's job to break my brain. That's what the drugs are for. And this shit that we just watched tonight.
Yeah, that was pretty trippy. I'm gonna keep on saying fever dream.
I thought it was like, what is the fuck is this? Are the theists having are the Christian crazy conservative theists having their own cosplay cons now? Can you fucking imagine if that took place at a fucking convention? That production value, that looked like that should have taken place at a fucking convention.
If he decided to be a cosplayer and he decided to take acid and become a born-again Christian, then that would...
I was surprised when I went down into the basement of the university where all the computer science classes are, because that's where they always are. And there was an advertisement there for a Christian D&D group.
Christian D&D group. Do they all play priests? Maybe a few paladins, just paladins and priests. That's the only things allowed. No warriors, no mages, because that would be sacrilegious.
I'm gonna take the oath of flashing my titties everywhere. That's the oath I want to take.
So you're a bard. Okay, we got this.
Where do you take that oath?
On the White House lawn.
There you go.
And also, sending so much love from Native Atheist.
There we go.
Show you how it's done. Thank you so very much.
See, look, he didn't even
feel
do
like
a 350. He didn't even do 350. He just went right for it. Look, listen, just treat it like a drag show. You tip your queen. Tip your queen appropriately.
Yeah.
I like to think of just a normal, like a wholesome strip show. What are we talking about?
My main problem,
Anyway,
actually,
That's my life.
woo,
the drag
thank
shows
you
I've
so
been
much.
to, I really don't like that they think that they have a right to touch my chest.
How that happens? I mean, I don't know. I went to a drag show today that my friend hosted, and I had to do an impromptu lip sync against a 16-year-old who was really sweet afterwards, but like we ended up kind of like bodying one another, so it basically ended up being like wrestling. Kind of like fighting. She had a broken high heel. She came in drag because she's like a 16-year-old drag performer. And I had a lot more makeup on than this, but yeah, that was the only form of physical touching that I had to deal with today.
I think it's because they're not used to trans women being there and don't realize it's real.
So my friend is actually a trans woman. The actually all of the artists at the show I went to today, it was an all transgender showcase. All the drag performers were on the trans spectrum. One is actually, she's having gender confirmation surgery, I think, next week. Or I don't know if it's, I should rephrase that. It's some sort of gender affirmation or confirmation surgery. I'm not 100% sure what she's having done. But yeah, like, so you have a lot more like trans and different like people. It's not just like cis gay men, you know, that are drag performers these days. So I'm sorry that somebody was touching you like that. I mean, you're more within your rights to be like, no, thank you. You know, nobody, I think, at a drag show would ever want their audience to like feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
Exactly.
I hope this doesn't sound like a pedantic point, but I'm kind of bothered by the term gender reconstruction surgery. You know, and just
Sure.
Shit.
Well, no, that's fair. I mean, so that's why we use like. So I'm actually trying to become a gender and sexuality specialist. It's what I'm working towards in my schooling. A lot of the term I think that we prefer to use now, because I mean back like even 10 years ago, it was SRS, sexual reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
Right. So gender confirmation surgery, and that can be a number of different things. That can also refer to if you're a trans femme, FFS, facial feminization surgery, having your trachea shaved, you know, chest surgery, whether you're trans masked, trans femme, or non-binary, and just one. Yeah. So gender confirmation tends to be, you know, a nice term that I like to use because it's not specific. Because to be honest, nobody is fucking entitled to know what you're having going on downstairs unless you're in a relationship with that person or
Okay.
It's a mutual interest. Yeah.
Thank you very much, because I lost my wording halfway through that. I really appreciate the way you put it. That, yeah, unless you are going to have an intimate relationship with someone, what they have below the waist is really none of your business.
Oh my goodness, sorry.
I also want to keep on doing this PSA. If any of this triggers you, I'm just trying to bait you, creationists. Come on. Come on, we love you. Oh, we so much love you.
I would just Well, if it'll help, I'll say the Bible is wrong.
If it helps, like, I'm a theist, but I
time.
still say that the fucking creation story is fucking bullshit. And it's so fucking stupid how most things are. I like getting off early on Sundays, but I think it's fucking bullshit that that's our fucking day of the week. And I also say it's fucking. Here we go, Christians. It's so fucking bullshit how y'all want to say you're fucking an oppressed class, and yet even our fucking national holidays are all structured around your fucking religion.
I am an apathist. I do not care if God exists. I will grant you that he exists. You still have a fucking truckload of shit to prove to me to get me to worship him.
Jesus, if he existed, was likely not even born on Christmas. You've just co-opted a pagan holiday, you lazy motherfuckers.
You know, it would make more sense if they would swap Christmas and Easter to have Jesus born in the spring and have him die in the darkest part of the year.
Exactly.
Hey, you do
The
not
Bible is basically fucking shitty ass fan fiction. I could write some better fucking like fan fiction than whoever the fuck wrote the books in the Bible.
All right, please don't take this the wrong way, but that only could be spoken by someone who has never read the Book of Mormon.
Dum, 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 dum.
I grant you I have never read the Book of Mormon. I'm basing that on a lot of pagan religions.
I'm just gonna go see the musical because I feel like that's gonna give me all the relevant information I need. I won't.
No, it won't.
It won't.
That has.
Isn't it? Isn't the Book of Mormon though 50% fan fiction and 50% plagiarism?
Well, Mark Twain called it a tedious plagiarism of the Old Testament, followed by a tedious plagiarism of the New.
Yeah.
Along with several other colorful descriptions, the most famous of which is chloroform in print.
Yeah, he wrote like in old timey, even though it wasn't that long ago. He was like, "Thou shalt." I'm like, dude, what are you writing? Very religious text. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What?
It's religious fan fiction. I love it.
So.
I mean.
Just a second. I did look in my stone here.
Yeah, exactly.
Did he fucking cosplay? Like, did he actually like shed his clothing and actually wear like a fucking old style like linen robe or something like that too when he wrote it? Like,
no, he just looked at stone the entire. He just looked inside his hat at a stone the entire time.
You looked in what he called seer stones.
See, I feel it's like you could write a better book if you like, instead of looking at the stone, you actually got stoned.
I always say the Bible would have been a much better book if it didn't say get, stone gaze. It said get gaze stoned. Would have been a much better book.
Well, here's the thing too. Do we even people don't even realize that there's been a lot of word changes and different translations done. Like people want to use Corinthians to say homosexuality is an abomination. And I'm like, Corinthians didn't originally say gay people, you know that, right? It didn't originally mention homosexuality specifically, and people were like,
yeah.
They have no fucking, they don't even know what the fuck their book says, because most Christians fucking just rely on whatever their fucking pastor says, because they're fucking sheeple and they're conditioned to give them shit tons of money, while you still have sects like the Southern Baptists who now have voted to kick out churches who have any sort of woman in a leadership role.
Yeah, I'm nodding all through that because my experience was that when I was reading the Bible as a teenager, 4 out of the 5 people I discussed it with had read it in Hebrew and were eager to point out all the translation errors.
I mean, here's the thing. If Christian schools want to say that they give you such a good education in theology and stuff, they should actually be teaching you to read in Hebrew, and you should be able to read the original text.
Some of them do.
I live in one of the states where we're not super large, but we have one of the highest rates of private and parochial enrollment in the country.
Okay.
And none of the most, so pretty much I'm like the cousin that went to public school. None of my cousins ever learned how to read Hebrew and stuff. And I've been looking into different schooling because I'm a parent. none of the schools around here actually teach that.
No.
So I'd be interested to see, like, where that's occurring, because
you're thinking of they probably do teach mainstream Protestant theology or Kent Hovind level theology, but the Catholics actually do teach their theology and do have comparative religions classes in their schools.
Well, no, it's Catholic schools actually that I'm thinking of. Like, most of my cousins all went to Catholic school. So
yeah, that's Catholic theology.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't have Hebrew. You're not learning to read the original text or anything like that. That's my point. If there are schools that exist, great. I feel it's that's a little bit, would at least be, you're kind of following your mission a little bit, because how can you say that any one translation of the Bible is superior to another and then say, that everybody has to follow your translation when, if you're supposed to be saying this is the word of God, well, why are you altering the word of God if it's so good and true?
Did Aramaic even have a written language?
Not sure.
Yes.
I haven't thought about that fairly recently.
I mean, most of the New Testament was written in Greek.
I'm pretty sure a lot of the Old Testament was in Aramaic.
Well, that's the thing too. There were multiple books that were written that were also left out of the Bible. Basically, it was a bunch of fucking white men who got to choose what went into the Bible.
I don't know if all of them were white. I mean, white wasn't really a concept.
Okay,
in the Roman Empire the way it was today.
Aramaic had to have a written language, otherwise how did he carve ARG on the wall when the rabbit attacked him?
I don't think that's part of the life of Brian.
Look at the
Listen, you can't confuse your holy text like that. Because we know Jesus didn't get his Latin grammar right because he said Romane ite domum instead of...
Okay, can you prove that your version is more accurate than mine?
I forget what he wrote. Romanes ite domus. And then the guard corrects him at sword point.
The written form of Aramaic came about 6 BCE.
Well, we also know, first of all, assuming Jesus existed, which we don't know if he did, he certainly didn't, he probably didn't write it down because most likely, like most carpenters in that area, he would have been illiterate.
Well, didn't he Jesus supposedly spent a lot of time in temple growing up, even from an early age, spending time talking with religious leaders at the time as well. So
I think that
a lot of time.
I think that's more tradition than actual evidence. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, this is what the Christians like to say. This is what
he did go,
I was taught.
But I don't know that he's hung out there all the time. I don't know.
Listen, I was taught God lives on a planet near a star called Kolob.
Even when I was a Christian, I had come to the belief that Jesus was a composite character, like Robin Hood or King Arthur, that there were at least a dozen preachers walking around, giving about the same message, and then when somebody decided to write them down, they decided it sounded better if they claimed it was all one person.
Well, that,
yeah,
or maybe everybody probably figured that it was one person. If somebody was looking at these accounts after the fact, they probably didn't attribute it to one person. That could have been what happened as well.
Mormon theology does make great science fiction, and Catholic theology makes great horror movies.
Let Jesus fuck you?
I don't remember that
now
part of The
again
Exorcist.
somewhere.
I'm sorry, that's the one thing
That's the Pope Benedict version. Now we have
Oh
Pope
my
Francis.
God.
And so we are going to say we got 30 minutes on the clock. We're having fun, but we are at the 3-hour mark.
God, where's Sunflower when you need him? Oh my God.
Oh, please no.
You're Johnson for
Well, you've actually only said his name once, and so you actually have to say it into a mirror
Amaretto.
twice.
Don't Amaretto. Don't.
Don't. Don't do it.
Hey,
Poor Sinister. She
we're
just had to
having a
deal with him last time.
Why are you guys talking
witnessed
so gay? Oh my god. Anyway.
Hey, Sunflower, I bet you actually don't have a girlfriend ever. Never.
Actually, I think I know better how to deal with Sunflower this time.
Water, sun.
Don't talk about.
Oh, see, I have experience dealing with him. I mean, there's been a wonderful cast of characters that have come on this show in the past couple of years. Not all of them are
heterosexual. What? Sinister, what were you about to say?
You just don't engage with what he wants to engage with.
Yeah, well, any subject is never the on topic. It's like, why did Jesus come back from the dead? Oh my God, why do you have gay voices?
I mean,
you're like, well, you do know there was a first century rabbi, right?
Listen, all I'm gonna say is I feel like Sunflower just needs to like make a grinder and just get it out of his system, and he'll be much happier in the end of things.
Maybe for like just a weekend.
Same thing with Bubble. I don't know if Bubble still comes around here if he got perma-banned, but like, fucking Bubble just
Bubble is going around doing his dogs are not related to wolves challenge. That is the new thing that he's into. Is he, for the life, I don't, because none of the creationists are on board with him.
Even Ken Hoven says the dogs are related to wolves. They came from wolves.
It's like his new gotcha. He goes on every channel going, I bet you can't prove dogs are related to wolves.
And then they do, and he just refuses to acknowledge.
Okay.
If Bubble attests that dogs are not related to wolves, then I would like to say if you come from a prostate massage, you're automatically gay. Like if you try, that's the same fucking kind of argument. Dogs aren't related to wolves. Well, if you come from your ass, you're gay. Newsflash, everybody, that's not the case.
Not to abruptly change the topic or anything here, because that's exactly what I want to do. But do you think Sunflower passed the Turing test, Amy?
Do you think Sunflower? That would be mean not to admit. Listen. I would say he would pass a Turing test in a closet.
You know,
I'm going to answer that question.
I am still willing to bet a considerable sum of money that most autistics would not pass the Turing test.
Well, the Turing test really isn't used as a test for artificial intelligence anymore.
Yeah, it is, as long as it is convincing to the person that it's communicating with, it passes the Turing test.
ChatGPT could probably debate Sunflower better than Sunflower could debate somebody else.
I just, like, all of the people I talk to that are anti-LGBTQ, the very specific thing they hate, that's what they are. Every time. 10 out of 10. It used to be 9 out of 10 times. Now I've revised my data. James.
Okay,
yeah, it does happen. It's true.
I'm just saying that I think that most neurotypical people could not tell the difference between an AI and 80% of the people on the autistic spectrum.
Probably yes, because Facebook exists and we have proof of that.
Amy, you just reminded me of a story about my father. So for years, he was telling stories about how he kept getting picked up by gay guys when he was in college.
That's fantastic.
They were getting hit on.
Uh-huh.
And for years, we're like, oh, just poor dad. It's like, he just seems to attract these people. And he tells this story for like 30 years until he lets out one Thanksgiving. It's like, tells the same story, but then adds an, I don't care if I was in a gay bar when it happened.
You know what? I don't even care. Hey, that just means that he's an attractive guy.
And it's like my sister, my uncle, and I were all sitting there just waiting to be the first to comment on that one. And we were like, "That's," and my uncle got it out first. It's like, well, if you're in their territory, you can't really complain.
Bill Burr, and this is I have to do at least a podcast. There you go, James. It's like getting a currency that you can't actually translate. or you can't get. You're like, hey, I like this. So one day I'm going to use this. I'm gonna translate. I'm sorry, Grump. Sorry, Grumpy. What you gonna say?
Wasn't gonna say anything.
I'm sorry. Oh, it sounded like someone was.
I think
something.
he's just like his brain is breaking. Actually, witnessing.
You know, like something like 12 to 15 years before I transitioned, I was picked up by a lesbian in a gay bar.
Gay bar.
I wouldn't even recognize.
That sounds fantastic.
Most attempts.
Yeah, it was very reaffirming. Yes.
Woo! I just think that everyone that they'll calm their nonsense. They'll get it out of their system.
Like
Oh no, go.
Like the first time someone offered to buy me a drink, and it's the only time I was like baffled.
Really? Just means we need to take you more clubbing. That wasn't even a sentence. Gonna take you clubbing. Gonna take you to a gay bar.
Amy, I don't even know if you could even handle clubbing anymore.
Is it you calling me old?
Yes.
Listen.
Now listen, you young whippersnapper. I have you know I still go clubbing.
Hey.
See? Right there.
Also, Grumps, I would like to thank the Satanic Temple for trolling Christians by being better Christians than they are.
I don't, because they're pseudo-Satanists.
You know, see, this has been a real problem with being trans and autistic, is that, you know, clubs are just way too bright and loud for me to go into. So where the fuck do I meet anyone?
Well, I'd say churches, but...
Cyber Cafe.
Cat cafes.
Do cyber cafes still exist?
Yeah, some of them do.
All right, I don't know, but, you know, every significant relationship I have had since 1994 has started in an online chat room, because that's about the only environment I can deal with.
You already have a persona. Start coming to the furry cons. It's a lot of us are neurotypical as fuck.
But I'm not a furry.
Just because
I happen to love dinosaurs. That's all.
That's all. It's a humanized. It's a human character. It's all it is. It's like it's an anthro character. It counts.
I do have a mask. I don't have a complete costume.
That's fine. I just have a fursuit head. You don't even have to have a fursuit to be a furry. You just have to like the art and like the characters.
I do have a paper mache mask with the horns and the full frill.
See, Amy's got that look on her face because Amy knows because Amy used to come to furry shit with me all the time.
You just have to be very kinky. That's really all you have to do to be in a furry relationship.
Before I ever did a face reveal on YouTube,
furry party.
Honestly, I made the mask like 30 years ago when I was teaching my daughter how to do paper mache.
Aww.
So I took it with me in 2019 when I went to the Ark Encounter protest. So I have a picture of me wearing it with Aaron Ra.
Oh, that's amazing. I like that.
Not everyone who has like an animal name is a furry.
Amaretta's like, yes.
But everyone who is a furry has an animal name.
There you go.
Listen, at this point, I'm like the person who's like, just come to a furry con. Because it's like, it's such a good atmosphere, especially if you're neurodivergent, because if it's either furry cons or it's MagFest
or a computer science classroom.
Or not.
I mean, but if you look at most computer science classrooms, there is going to be a generous proportion of furries in your computer science classrooms. It's a fact. Furries in computer science.
Like I thought she was going to say something MAGA.
Oh God, no. Hell no.
Well, the trans to STEM pipeline is a thing.
I mean, but listen, furries love programming socks. We're very accepting.
I am not going to deny owning any like a dozen pairs of programming socks.
There's a reason it's a thing. I don't even do programming, and I'm like, I I'm a gamer, so it's like I'm still gonna learn program. I'll have my programming socks. I'll go back to my days of Angel Fire and trying to learn HTML.
Yeah, but you're not really programming learning HTML.
You know, I went to a tech institute for programming in 1982, and now all my training is so severely outdated it means absolutely nothing.
Oh, it's great. I have an ex who went to University of Pennsylvania for computer science, barely actually passed. They were like a super senior and everything. Amy knows who I'm talking about. They don't even work in the computer science field, and it's great. They don't like telling people they went to UPenn because most of the time they work in the casino industry, and now most people are like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And so it's just like, yeah. So it's a thing. Like the technology has definitely rapidly advanced. So I feel for you.
Honestly, from the time that I was actually in the Technical Institute, I retain less knowledge about computers than I do about the original Transformers cartoon.
Hey, there's definitely something weird going on between Megatron and Starscream. Like a humiliation.
There is a sect that ships the Transformers together for sure. I know people. It's a thing.
You have to come up with some justification for why Megatron never killed Starscream in the original run.
Because Starscream was his daddy. End of story.
Yeah.
I think that was the other way around. I think Starscream had a humiliation kink.
No, I think Megatron's just a secret bottom. He doesn't want anybody to find out. That's
my
how it is.
My favorite scene from the original Transformers run is when Megatron is holding Starscream from the throat and saying that you're either a traitor or an idiot, and Starscream is screaming, "I'm an idiot! I'm an idiot!"
I don't know. I could have said those aren't mutually exclusive things. Yeah, it's just...
This is true, well.
I mean, watching the old cartoons, just like, you're wondering, it's like, why didn't Megatron just kill Starscream?
That's what I was wondering for about 2 seasons of that cartoon.
Oh my gosh!
And in the newer versions, he routinely does so.
All right, we've mentioned D&D. We've talked about some gay shit. We've mentioned furries. We're mentioning like cartoons and anime, and we still haven't managed to get a single creationist. They're all fucking lazy. I swear to God.
I can't let you get away from Transformers without my favorite quote from the movie. Or actually, it wasn't from the movie. It was for the season just after the movie with Quintessons. That when Megatron told Blitzwing, you will never be welcome in the ranks of the Decepticons again. And Blitzwing says, sometimes it is best to be known by one's enemies. And that is basically what I've lived by every time I've been dealing with the Christian apologists.
Yeah, they can be dicks. But they're not dicks that join streams, let me tell you what.
So what?
Let me tell you what. Because they could.
Like I said, they're being lazy. Here. They're being lazy because this is like prime.
I'm sorry, Sea Science Labs, but as someone who is now a philosophical Taoist and not really that religious, I don't really feel a need to debate the 10 Commandments, and I don't really understand what the issue was. I do believe that the thing you're trying to bring up is that although Jesus says he fulfilled the law, so you don't need to do like all those like 613,000 Jewish laws or however many there are. I think that number might be right.
616.
Should have made it 666.
You have to follow 7 of the 10 Commandments.
You can make better commandments on a napkin.
And personally, I've never boiled a kid in its mother's milk.
Yeah, sounds hot. I'm in.
You know, I've never found a mother that could produce enough milk to do it.
That's true. That's a lot of milk.
It's my new goal.
And kid in this case means baby goat, just in case.
Oh, well.
Just in case there's any confusion.
I think there was.
There was.
Yeah, there was, because I've never tried to milk a goat.
Just for context, like, so when Amy and I used to live together, we had a friend named Nami who literally used to talk about abortion omelets. So, like, yeah, I'm conditioned with that eye roll.
She used to talk about a lot of things. My goodness. But Nami was very fascinating.
Nami was an interesting kid. Nami, I would love to have seen Nami debate a creationist. And that would have been...
just interact with them. But something like that.
In general. I feel like Nami would probably be the one person that would be able to, like, make people stop believing in God.
I think we should get LPP on.
Yeah, like I was telling James, and James was telling me, it's like, you know, all these creationists, they're just disappearing.
Well,
it's Sunday, I guess it's their day of rest.
I understand not wanting to go on friendly platforms. It's like, I don't really feel a lot like going on Twitter anymore. I block liberally.
Oh, they love coming here. They love coming on here. Just they want to tell Amy that she's a man.
I have to tell Elon Musk he's an idiot.
See, but they're starting to slow down, except for politically. We get all this humbug. They get all this, you know, the sports and the lockers and the bathrooms and the... I don't even know what else. There was a single school shooting, though there's 300 school shootings that have gone on in America, unfortunately.
But it's not the guns that are the problem. Nope. Never.
Hey, I don't know about you.
What else? Well,
I don't know about you, Amy, but I personally love being reminded at least 3 times a year that there is a risk of being fatally shot.
Listen.
Ireland was great because they didn't have to worry about being shot. The worst thing like that we really ever had to worry about was a pickpocket. That's it. It was so great.
Porpoise, you being a teacher has had me seriously worried all year.
And I said I was gonna probably go on if I added someone that was a theist for a lot more. But I don't know. DeFreak is like, I don't know if you're a creationist. Yeah, we're probably gonna start to go to outro. But we want to get DeFreak. We're Midnight Ranting on interview with Lucifer. Oh my goodness. It's just crazy to think about that guy even now. But hope you're doing well, and what are your thoughts about anything we've been talking about tonight?
Oh my God, am I lagging on your side too, or is it just mine?
It might be yours.
I'm literally getting an 1800 ping right now.
You might want to call Comcast and yell at them a little bit.
Ugh.
Even if you don't have Comcast, I'm all for that.
And sending you love, see science in chat. I see that too. We understand that of all the creationists that you came on and you gave us love and all that, but everyone else, they need to put up or shut up. Except I don't. Have you guys ever seen the film that got like 1 billion freaking Emmys, whatever? Everything and Nothing. She has like a
Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yes, she has like a fight move where she is going up against her opponent. She goes,
Are you sure that wasn't Hellboy?
Hellboy? No, I like Hellboy. But this also was a good movie, and it's about the multiverse. Multiverse is hot right now, and it's hot, hot, hot. Marvel, DC, everybody's doing it.
It's all about the Spider-Verse, baby.
About the Spider-Verse, they got everybody's
Gwen Stacy is trans.
Hey,
trans allegory, Gwen Stacy.
Let me try and join my phone.
The freak, maybe I was going to suggest you cut some programs in the background, but okay.
but sending love. We have 10 minutes, and we are going to outros, no matter how interesting, unless you are going to just sit here and tell us that evolution isn't real and the Earth is 6,000 years old. In which case, James and myself and everyone on the panel will be on here for the next 6 to 7 days, apparently. Probably.
I do apologize, and I hope that next time I'm on, I'm more sober.
That is okay.
Sorry, I should not have laughed at that.
That you will find that there are people that are on here that are sober. So it's okay.
It happens. Once in a while, we get it. Not just
and sometimes you just need to not be sober to kind of actually process and handle some of.
It's been a really bad week for me, and I've been desperate to do anything to fall asleep. It's not working.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I know that feel.
Hold on, the cat is telling me.
I'm just a natural night owl, and I don't have to be up at 5:30 in the morning right now.
Well, that is what I did like about teaching. Is just a fantastic break from you get a different neuro state. However, if you're going through a depressed time, I'm sorry, and I hope that we are there to support you and that you are able to get through it. Woo! You can get through it.
Well, I appreciate just having some kind of mental distraction so I didn't have another meltdown tonight.
Well, I appreciate to be here to support you.
Good to have you on.
Or to entertain, or multiverse.
Do whatever we can do to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, for anyone who says online friends don't count, fuck you. I need these people.
100%, absolutely.
If online friends don't count, then how do people explain what happened during the pandemic?
Well, see, that could be a debate in itself, because I think there's a difference between online friends and parasocial relationships.
Oh gosh. Well, yeah.
Okay,
but
Porpoise, get back to me on Twitter. That sounds like a good topic for a show.
I appreciate that, though that has been buried. I'm not sure Carlin would appreciate. I'm open to parasocial relationships. I'm also open to them if they come out of plays. Woo! We're parasocial relationship.
I don't have a big enough
Amy
audience.
loves parasocial relationships if they come along with a financial incentive.
Okay, well, I don't have a big enough audience yet to develop a parasocial relationship or have a stalker.
Oh, you never want a stalker. Like, listen, I had a parasocial relationship with an old client. He actually stalked me at my job. It was great. Not really.
Yeah, I'm helping another friend deal with the stalker, and I know it's scary. It is not a fun thing at all.
People are just scary in general. Like, one streamer just had her car lit on fire by an obsessed fan. So, yeah, she was I believe she was like a game streamer, like on Twitch. But people be crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having the following of someone like ContraPoints, Abigail Thorne, or even Aaron Ra, who apparently is a creationist according to that GPT or that Twitter GPT program.
I just have a friend of mine online who has a stalker who posted that he's going to move to her state.
Listen,
not creepy at all.
Yeah.
Who hasn't gotten death threats on Twitter?
Actually, I don't think I've gotten a death threat on Twitter yet.
You will.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any threats yet. I don't have a big enough following for that.
Yeah, I just mostly have people like my stream tends to be pretty small because I haven't been consistent with a schedule, but no, I get occasionally I get some trolls, but nothing like death threats or anything like that yet. Mostly, again, it's just people trying to be like, oh, it's great because most of it's like TERFs trying to actually say I'll never be like, you know, I'll always be a man, I'll never be a woman. And then I'm like, bitch, I spent 27 hours in labor giving birth to a kid. What the hell are you talking about? And then they want to be like, you look like a man. And I'm like, I'm gender fluid, so good job. I'm hotter than you. Your husband would probably hook up with me in my DMs at any rapid time because you're such a piece of shit. So
you know, this wasn't an online thing. This was an in real life thing. But I had someone tell me that I could never pass because I have my mother's nose.
Oh my gosh.
What the fuck does that mean?
Transphobes are trying to say that Pink, like the singer, was not a cisgender person, like not a female at birth person because she doesn't have womanly hips.
They say that Michelle Obama was trans, and then they make fun of Brittany Griner, and they say that either they believe she's trans or they give her shit. But I thought you cared about women's, basketball. Where's all this love? You need to protect women, biological women. And it all faded away.
Listen, I've been trying to start the rumor that Ben Shapiro is a trans man for years.
Yeah, the whole Michelle Obama thing, they always come back to that her hands are too long.
Oh, you know what? These people are idiots. It's like, I mean, listen, there is a fair share of stupidity, but I don't get how they want to say that, oh, your hips, like, we can tell, your hands, we can tell, and yet, like...
the insults are as a form of projection.
It's stupid. I'm like, okay, what's the idea? What should a woman look like then? Tell me. I'm like, because y'all don't even have a standard definition. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, you still got people that are just like... There was a thing I found on Twitter today where there was a plus-size trans woman who was basically telling this podcast that basically most men like want to use her as a fetish and stuff like that. People couldn't believe. And it's like, nah, it's for real. Speaking as a former fat person.
I'm sorry.
You feel fetishized?
Well, it's just kind of like, are you kidding me? Like, people will say one thing, but then it's like when it comes to like doing the sneaky link in the DMs, they'll do a whole other. I mean, it's the same. Trans women deal with the same thing all the fucking time.
Okay, I'm just catching up on the side chat, and Spooky Bed Hair claims he's been stalking me for years, and I just haven't noticed.
Is that
Once again, if you noticed, he wouldn't very sneaky, would he?
Is that this was on an asexual activist account that wasn't really an issue? Because...
Okay, I just have to say thank you, Spooky. I so appreciate that. That's all.
And Sea Science Film Labs. Iron Rock is actually fairly nice, mostly, but there are some things he just doesn't know. Like, I remember asking Gutsec Gibbon, him, and Dave Farina once if anyone had ever proven if DNA was Turing complete. Because it's something that can be proven. But they came back with an answer about statistics, which just meant they didn't know what Turing complete meant. That's all.
Okay, but Aaron Ra, when he comes up with somebody, okay, at the art protests, I hung out at an after party with him and Lavender Lady. And what was just wonderful about him is that when Lavender Lady talked about being trans, Aaron Ra just sat there and listened. Because he realized this is someone with more experience on the subject than he had.
Don't use any of those words. Don't bring it up.
Well, and that's the thing too. Not everybody is going to have the same life experiences, educational experiences, interests. Because I mean, if you typically are in this kind of realm, you're not doing this for a day job. You're doing this because you have an active interest in it. Otherwise, why would anybody be here? Right?
Yeah, but that's, as long as somebody is willing to listen and learn, you can forgive everything else.
Except if they don't learn. If they want to fuck around and find out, I'm in full support of that.
They have to be willing to learn.
And Iron Rod does. Sorry.
No. So, Sinister, since you want to say something, you are going to be the last word, but we are going to head into outros in a second. And Purple, you are the latest to join us, because DeFreak left, but sending love to DeFreak. But Sinister, what were you about to say?
And Iron Rod does have little patience if he thinks you're just not being honest.
Well, yeah, there is.
I mean, listen. Everybody
bullshit.
has their own personality traits, to be fair. You know what? It's just, that's the thing. You're kind of navigating these spaces. Like, a lot of people don't like how I get kind of not safe for work. My references and everything else. And that's okay. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And, you know, it's the same thing with everybody else. Some people just don't want to engage with people if they don't think that, like, if they're just testing their patience and stuff like that, and that's okay as well. I mean, everybody's got a little niche, a little corner in this whole arena, so to speak, like how I like to put it. So,
and all right, we are heading into outros. We have been Midnight Ranting on interview with Lucifer. We did not find Satan or creationists. I guess they didn't want to show, which means
they're too busy looking at my OnlyFans.
Woohoo! We have moved on from OnlyFans to an OnlyFans. Fine, Lucifer, and we're heading to outros. We are. Purple rhymes with orange. What is up? We have been Midnight Ranting on interview with Lucifer. Hope you had a fun time on the multitude of subjects we've been talking about. Where can people find you, and what are your final thoughts?
Honestly, I just have to thank you for putting up with me in one of my worst mental states. But basically, I do weekly casual chats on my YouTube channel, which is Purple Rhymes with Orange, at Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Central Time. And I'm trying to do some more serious on-topic shows, which at this point I'm only doing once a month, usually on the third Saturday of the month.
Woohoo! Thank you so very much, Purple Rhymes with Orange. Go check out her content. And keep on coming on. It was lovely having you.
Thanks.
We are moving to Sister Porpoise. Lovely having you on as we Midnight Ranted with the interview with Lucifer, as well as a multitude of other topics. Lovely having you on. What do you have going on, and what are your final thoughts? Oh, you're pulling a me.
You're muted.
I am the Sinister Porpoise. When you think of Sinister Porpoises, think of the Sinister Porpoise. And I would like to make this clear, I am not a furry.
Well, no, because porpoises don't have much fur.
I would also like to point out that I cannot possibly be an atheist because I own a cat, and as far as my cat's concerned, I can't be an atheist because the cat is a god.
I do understand cat worship. It makes sense from the Egyptian perspective. I mean, worship you. They're so amazing. And all right, thank you so very much.
Being a flat earther, I'll tell you that.
We can also prove cats exist. We're just going to put that out there. But we are moving right along. Amaretto, we have been Midnight Ranting on interview with Lucifer. Lovely having you back on. We have been talking about a multitude of topics. Where can people find you, and what are your final thoughts?
So I stream kind of sporadically over at twitch.tv at Amaretto Rawr, R-A-W-R. So if you like people playing way too much of League of Legends and or other games while under the influence of things. I'm definitely your person. Also love to talk about social justice initiatives and things of that nature. Yeah, you're more likely to find Satan. Honestly, I'm starting to think like Lucifer's in hell. His name was Pat Robertson, and donate to my goal, because you know what? I used to say I was going to have Joy getting arrested for pissing on Mitch McConnell's grave. Now my current goal is actually I want to, speed up the timeline. I want to do a tour. Like when, we're going to go for Pat Robinson first, because why not? Fuck him. Fuck a lot of these people who want to say follow the word of God when
Mitch McConnell's grave.
Yeah, I want to piss on Mitch McConnell's grave. I know, but that's always been my goal. I literally, for anybody who's not aware, my sense of humor, like I said, very crass. I always said I would take one for the team and either be Mitch McConnell's mistress and basically get him out of Washington, or I would joyfully get arrested pissing on his grave. But now you know what? Like let's do Pat Robertson first and Jerry Falwell. Why not? Why? Let's not wait for Mitch McConnell to die. So if you want to support
that turtle.
We can justify Lindsey Graham. It's already out there. Anyway,
true. But yeah,
Lady G.
Oh my God, I can't. I think it was like Lady G or something like Lady that. G. But yeah, if you support fucking, trans rights or human rights, people being people, and I might be a theist, spiritual person, but yeah, if you support, you can do that and that's okay. But Christofascism is not cool, then yeah, come say hi. Bye.
Woohoo! Thank you so very much, Amaretto. Keep on coming on. Welcome back. And we'll keep on triggering the Christians because they are triggered.
I'll eagerly await the time when I see Sunflower on, just so I can come on and just decimate him.
Listen, you have a straight voice. Anyway.
Be sure to ask him if he's autistic again.
I was waiting. Can I just say, he asked everyone. You asked the question, and he asked everyone if you're on the spectrum, except for the person who asked the question. I think he knew, because by asking that question, he was going to look like an idiot. That's why he didn't ask you. That's why.
What?
Just spoiler alert. Because he was asked by a particular person if they were on the spectrum. Because what they do is they normally do things like they start as an insult, and then they're asked legitimately if they're on the spectrum, and they freak out because they're like, I was using that as an insult. I know, but we were asking you a legitimate question because of a multitude of responses. But if he asked the one person, doesn't matter.
Wait. Is being autistic, being on the autistic spectrum, supposed to be an insult now?
No, but he was using it as an insult, and then someone who was on the spectrum asked him if he was on the spectrum, and he freaked out because he's like, how dare you? Where does that even come from? You should ban this person, blah, 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 blah. And he projects everything. He comes on and we're talking about some religious subject, and he starts talking about some random LGBTQ subject that is like, why do gay men love dick so much? And I don't know why.
So this is wonderful information because, as someone who's actually working towards becoming in the mental health field, and who's also neurodivergent, I feel like I can also troll him very, very, very well now. I'm just going to be like, "Hey, Sunflower, have you ever heard of Autism Speaks?"
Oh fuck! I hate them.
And all right,
I have links if necessary.
Going down the list, let us go to Beamsy. We have a Midnight Ranting on interview with Lucifer. I hope you had a great time. fantastic to have you back on. Keep on coming on. But I want to know, what are your final thoughts? We may have ran off. Beamsy.
Wow.
Okay, what
we
is
may
with the
have
green
ran
glow?
off Beamsy because he's on the other side. I can't believe that you would say something
There we go,
so
Beamsy.
daring and so brave.
He's too busy
And yet-
looking at my OnlyFans.
Okay, I've just been wondering with the Avatar, what is the green glow? Did the nuclear reactor on the ship explode?
Yes. And with that, we are going to go to Grumpy. It is lovely having you as we've been midnight ranting on interview with Lucifer. We've been talking about a multitude of subjects, what you got going on, and what are your final thoughts?
Well, my final thoughts are is I don't know if that guy was actually from the South or what. Actually, my final thoughts are is that the show that you were looking at was very interesting. Got me to bite my tongue a lot in the comments, and I was biting my tongue a lot up here because I'm like, no, don't go there. It's being too straight. You want to be fun. You want to be fun, not straight. But anyway, so as far as where you can find me, I am at GrumpsNet. If you do the search on YouTube for that. And I do Late Night in the Grotto, as the sign behind me says. And I'm also trying to get some Satanists together to have a panel show called The Infernal Diatribe, where we talk about socially relevant issues from a satanic perspective. That's about it.
Thank you so very much, Grumpy, for coming on. Lovely having you, and I hope that you get the Satanists all together because there's nothing that triggers, apparently, even more than atheists, even though many are atheists, Christians, evangelicals, more than Satanists.
Oh, and those who say that we're not atheists.
Well, that too. But sending so much love, Grumpy. Keep on coming on. And all right, James, I am giving you the keys.
Don't do it, Amy.
I can't help it. Our bodies are ready.
We'll crash
This was a interesting video to say.
Going down hard.
Whew. But we have been midnight ranting on an interview with Lucifer.
Come on.
And what are your final thoughts?
We have been, but whoa! I didn't even realize it was almost 5 in the morning. Maybe I did not even.
Yeah, it moved fast.
I just had to get Gizmo up. He's getting a little squirmy over here. Gizmo, what are you doing, Gizmo? Your adoring fans want to say hi. I want to say good night. Anyway, guys, yes. Let's go to bed. Thanks everybody for helping us through the video. Thanks everybody for coming on, and yeah, we'll be back. Maybe tomorrow. And we might have a debate tomorrow if we can find Christians to debate.
I know. Woohoo! And all right.
Otherwise, yeah. We'll still be back later in the week.
I mean, does that mean we're doing our job, James, if creationists are becoming harder and harder to find?
Listen, the freak, you got to feed Gizmo several times. When he starts meowing, you got to feed him.
Exactly.
Or he won't stop.
And I've learned that
you give offerings to your God.
Pretty much, we're well trained.
Hey, the kitty always gets extra clicks on the videos. You got to reward him.
Hey, there you go.
Exactly.
He works hard.
Cats we can. And all right, with that, I hope that misfits one and all out there have enjoyed this episode of Skeptic Midnight Ranting. but we're skeptics. But we're Midnight Ranting.
Midnight Ranting, something like
exactly. On Interview with Lucifer, where we watched the channel Ivan the Evangelist, which sounds like he's from an RPG, but whatever. Called Interview with a Lucifer, warning offensive content in all caps. So that's how you know it's like super offensive.
I still can't shake
very ridiculous, very offensive.
I can't shake that was a deleted scene from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I know. Listen.
Or a sci-fi movie.
Or Buffy the sci-fi movie. So for a demonically good time.
Is that
what?
Is that a hot tub time machine?
Yes, I'm fairly sure.
Well, deep cut.
I was thinking sci-fi movie more in the veins of Sharknado on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Listen, I'm not sure we can have something so intellectually challenging. I do want to thank all of my panelists. I want to thank Sea Science, Grumpy, Beamsy, Amaretto, Sinister, Purple, and Freak. I do hope that you like, follow, and subscribe out there. If you enjoy the show, hit that bell icon so you can join our live stream.
Well, thank you for tolerating me.
Oh, Sea Science is back. Or why not put that bell icon to also you can join our live stream? I can't do it. He doesn't even know that we're making fun of me. That or him. I want him to like just make it count. Or hey, James, I am a straight male. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my god. Straight males.
I don't wear women's clothes.
I don't even know. And even
so
if
super
I did,
straight.
I would look better in them than you. Did you know that? It's a fact in a book.
Look at her in that dress. Oh.
I just want her hair.
You can also leave a super thanks, and we'll send you thanks, and we'll also be heading, or at least some people are saying, we'll be heading over to the Skeptic and Ranting Discord server, the link of which is in the description below, along with our fantastic channel members. However, if you want to join the Girl Deck, the best way to make even more content and unlock some unique perks is by checking out our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman. I am Amy Newman. I almost linked it into nothing. However, this is your fantastic panel, including Sea Science, Boo 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 Doo Doo. And we will see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z. Good night, everyone. Mwah.
Good night, all.
Here is also the Fiver thing, but it's too late for that, so I'm just sending it into the ether. The ether is the internet. It's a metaphor. Because if I say it too much, they're like, oh.
They know. They know.
I know.
Be excellent to each other. And so long, and thanks for all the fish.